Discount code Chicago.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
It's now 77 people dead in the Northern California wildfire. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A vigil last night for those victims. Nearly 1,000 other people remain unaccounted for, so the search through more than 10,000 homes that burned down continues. And amid the misery, more help.
This San Francisco area car dealership is donating a huge trailer full of supplies.
Breaks my heart. So many people lost their homes, their lives. Everything's been uprooted.
More essentials are on the way from people out of state who say they have plenty to spare.
You got blankets, you got children's clothes. This is more pet food, more luggage here.
Fox's Anita Vogel reporting from Malibu in Southern California, where another wildfire killed 3 other people. After numerous lawsuits and 2 recounts, Florida's Senate race is finally over.
Democrat Bill Nelson said in a video statement Sunday that the outcome wasn't what he wanted, but continued.
Let me say I by no measure feel defeated.
Nelson wound up losing his Senate seat by about 10,000 votes to Governor Rick Scott, who in a statement thanked the senator for his service. Nelson reflected on his time in Washington.
It's been a rewarding journey as well as a very humbling experience.
Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Well, the county where ballots got the most scrutiny was Broward, and the supervisor of elections, Brenda Snipes, has reportedly resigned. Democrats and some Republicans keep pushing a bill to protect special counsel Robert Mueller, now that acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker has oversight. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff told ABC's This Week Whitaker's appointment is unconstitutional and done to interfere with the Russia probe.
He auditioned for the part by going on TV and saying he could hobble the investigation.
Now, in a tweet, President Trump wrote the congressman failed to mention that Mueller was never confirmed either. And he spelled Schiff's name with T's, not F's. Schiff replied, "Wow, Mr. President, that's a good one. Did you write this one yourself?" This is Fox News.
Skies are mostly fair across our area, and because of that, really chilly. 21 degrees to start the week at 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 3 are hurt following a crash. It involved a tanker truck this morning. It happened on the inbound Dan Ryan. Illinois State Police tell us the accident occurred near 78th Street involving another large truck and another vehicle. The tanker was leaking fuel. The victims of that crash were hospitalized with minor injuries, and multiple lanes were closed for quite some time as crews cleaned up the spilled fuel. Parents of football players at Simeon High School in Chicago are accusing an IHSA official of cheating. The suit filed Friday against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth on November 10th. Mercado is a parent of a player on Nazareth, and he was on the sidelines when the Nazareth won the game 34-27. The suit requests that the IHSA vacate Nazareth's win, and the IHSA stops employing Mercado and the crew that worked that game. Candidates running for mayor of Chicago will begin submitting their nominating petitions today. Same goes for candidates of all aldermanic races and those running for city clerk and treasurer. Candidates need a minimum of 12,500 signatures. Less than 2 weeks after the fall election, candidates in 4 major DuPage County towns that are eligible for primaries will be filing nominating petitions today for spots on the April 2nd spring ballot. Candidates in Aurora, Downers Grove, Naperville, and Wheaton will be seeking city council and, in some cases, mayoral seats. In Naperville, Mayor Steve Chirico's first term as mayor is expiring. He says he plans to run for re-election. In Wheaton, Mayor Michael Gressick and 2 at-large council members have terms that expire in May. Gressick, first elected in 2007, is stepping down after 3 terms. Downers Grove, Martin Tully stepping down after 8 years as mayor because that village has term limits. Authorities investigating after a Lions man who was reported last week missing was found stabbed to death in his vehicle over the weekend in that western suburb. Paresh Jobalia was discovered inside of his Honda in the 4200 block of South Lawndale Avenue. He had been reported missing November 10. An investigation is underway after 2 were found shot in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood. Police say the shooting happened last night in the 1700 block of North Troy. Some local church leaders are demanding a further investigation into the deadly police shooting of a black security guard earlier this month at a bar in Robbins. Pastors held a vigil yesterday outside of St. John Community Church in Robbins to show support for Jamel Roberson's family. State police investigators say a Midlothian officer shot Roberson in a parking lot outside of Manny's Blue Room Bar after giving him multiple commands to drop a gun he was holding. The Midlothian Department has not released the name of that officer, who was placed on paid administrative leave. Federal judge has given a green light to a transgender performance artist lawsuit challenging a Chicago ordinance prohibiting women but not men from exposing their breasts in certain public venues. To prevail, B. Sullivan Knopf must prove at trial that the ordinance violates her constitutional rights and Illinois law. Former Blackhawks coach Joel Quenneville still enjoying the Chicago sports spotlight. Being fired by the Hawks earlier this month, Quenneville was spotted tailgating yesterday at Soldier Field for the Bears' victory over the Vikings. The planners of Illinois' bicentennial best of list say they've saved the best for last, and once again they get it wrong. Voters this week are being asked to pick Illinois' best moment. Choices include Rod Blagojevich's arrest, Barack Obama's election, the Lincoln-Douglas debates, and the Cubs winning the World Series. Sorry, but any list that doesn't include Bruce Weber's boys from Illinois beating Arizona at the Horizon in the Elite Eight in March of 2005 isn't much of a list. Or including a White Sox World Series. As our friend Hank Williams Jr. says so well, come on, man. Bears increased their lead in the NFC North with a 25-20 win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football at Soldier Field. Mitchell Trubisky threw a touchdown pass and 2 INTs for the Bears.
Just coming out here, being focused on what we need to do as a team, executing each and every single play, and coming out with a win. So I'm proud of the way we stuck together. It wasn't always pretty on offense, but we just grinded it out and did what we had to do, and it was a great team win.
Chicago has a quick turnaround. They travel to Detroit to take on the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Early, 11:30 kickoff. Jonathan Toews, Brandon Saad score first-period goals. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the UC. The Bulls will try and snap a 4-game losing skid when they play the Suns Wednesday night at the United Center. Iowa scored 28 in the second quarter, and they drub out Illinois Saturday in Champaign 63-0. Northwestern beat Minnesota. Notre Dame cruised past number 19 Syracuse. The Illinois men's basketball team is in Hawaii. Face number 3 Gonzaga tonight in the Maui Invite. In case you're keeping track, the Illini hold the all-time Maui Invite best record, 9-3 overall. The news, a service of Metro by T-Mobile. Now at Metro, buy a select Samsung Galaxy or LG phone and get a second one free on a new line. Metro by T-Mobile plus sales tax and activation fee requires qualifying plan. Phone free after all, instant rebates. Free phone of lesser or equal value. See store for details and terms and conditions. It's 5:08. We'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
In the last 2 years, this president somehow managed to defeat the mainstream media and the forces of darkness on the left. He managed to get 2 strong judges in the Supreme Court. He turned around a bad economy and put millions back to work. He rebuilt the military, saved sick veterans. He beat back the Islamic terrorists known as ISIS. But these victories are hanging by a thread. Now the real fight begins to keep those gains and get more. It's not time to let up now. Find out what needs to be done. Stick with this station to know more. AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Amy Arrett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at amazon.com/Chicago Jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer.
5:11. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On the outbound Kennedy Expressway, it's crashed at Harlan. This has moved to the right shoulder. May have a brief tap of the brakes in that area. About 22 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound now fine at 20. Earlier collision at Montrose has cleared. The express lanes are open on the inbound side. Edens is good, so is the Eisenhower. No problems to report on the Stevenson. Inbound ride, it's heavy from 87th to 79th. There's a crash. 2 left lanes are open now at 79th. The exit ramp is open as well. Looking at a travel time from 95th to downtown of about 25 minutes. Outbound is a crash reported at 91st. The other expressways and tollways for now are looking good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, Chilly. Clouds will be on the increase throughout the morning and into the afternoon. High 35, and that will lead to some overnight flurries and a low of 25. Tomorrow, cold, clouds and sun mixed. High 34. Currently 24 at O'Hare, 26 along Chicago's lakefront, and it is 15 chilly degrees in Aurora this morning. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday mornings at 6 a.m.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Brian Kemp, Ron DeSantis, and Rick Scott are in, and Brenda Snipes is out. That's a pretty good weekend for the GOP and for ballot integrity.
Yeah, because on Saturday they had this hand recount, and they could not find 200 ballots. And she knew they were somewhere in the building, but they couldn't find them.
Maybe at Avis.
Pardon? Oh, yeah, that's right. In the back of somebody's car. She said a former employee was in charge, but she did not know where they were.
The ballots are in this building. There would be nowhere else for them to be, but they are misfiled in this building.
If I was 200 missing ballots, where would I be?
2,000.
Where would I be? 2,000,
Yeah,
200, 2,000.
I mean,
whatever. It wasn't going to be enough, so they had to concede their. I don't want to say effort to defraud, but their incompetence couldn't stand in the way of the actual vote count. So that's good news for Floridians.
Yeah, and
particularly an aspiring one like myself.
Exactly, that's right. Well, you want to get property there some damn sure, like everybody else. But Senator Bill Nelson, the incumbent, very gracious. I didn't really realize how religious he was until I heard his concession speech, a YouTube tape.
Well, things worked out a little differently than Grace and I had hoped, but let me say I by no measure feel defeated, and that's because I've had the privilege of serving the people of Florida and our country for most of my life. And I don't think anybody could have been as blessed. It's been a rewarding journey as well as a very humbling experience. I was not victorious in this race, but I still wish to strongly reaffirm the cause for which we fought.
Don't forget about
a public office is a public trust.
Amen.
Oh my God! Then they sealed him up in his sarcophagus and put him in the same place that those 2,000 ballots are. Holy cow! All right, bye, Bill.
Well, he's a religious man. He is. He and his wife, Grace, and he thanked his wife.
Heard all about
Everybody
her.
was thanking their wives yesterday. And then
What about Stacey Abrams?
Stacey Abrams, she was a little cantankerous. But let's get to Gillum first, right? Am I pronouncing his name right? He also thanked his wife when he thanked Floridians.
Obviously, we are now closing out the hand recount phase in 2 of the statewide races. We wanted to make sure that every single vote, including those that were overvotes, undervotes, as long as it was a legally cast vote, we wanted those votes to be counted. And now that we are rounding that process out, RJ and I wanted to take a moment to congratulate Mr. DeSantis on becoming the next governor of the great state of Florida.
And it was cute. They were, wearing their tracksuits. They're in front of a lake in Florida, very casual.
Oh,
RJ clinging to his side. And, he just let people know that he did get he scored a lot of points.
More than 4 million of you decided that you wanted a different direction for the state of Florida. We want you to know that we see you, that we hear you, and that your voices will continue to power us as we still stand on the front lines right alongside you to make this a state that works for all of us.
Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Gillum. Now, if you'd see these nice men over here from the FBI, they're here to take you away. That's how I hope the Gillum story ends, per his illustrious tenure as the mayor of Tallahassee. Remember, if in case you've forgotten, this guy is under federal investigation for essentially taking bribes as the mayor of Tallahassee. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. And we also know how it played out in Georgia, although Stacey Abrams was less gracious than Mr. Nelson and Mr. Gillum.
I believe it began 8 years ago with the systematic disenfranchisement of more than 1 million voters. It continued with the underfunding and disinvestment in polling places, in training, and in the management of the county delivery of services. And I think it had its pinnacle in this race. But a few months before, in May of 2018, a Republican primary had to be called for a do-over because a number of voters did not receive accurate ballots.
So she's still claiming that, democracy failed in Georgia and that there was a deliberate interference in the election.
Yeah, she
But
lost.
She lost.
And that has generated a real problem for Georgia's future. Alyssa Milano is calling for a boycott of Georgia, Hollywood boycott of Georgia. And she's enlisted none other than
who?
West Wing actor Bradley Whitford.
Oh, no.
Has he been in something in the last 15 years? And actors Stephen Pasquale, Ron Perlman. Apparently there's a number of Hollywood productions in Georgia.
Oh, yeah. The Ozarks is filmed solely in Georgia, entirely in Georgia. There's a lot of places.
Yeah. Insatiable, apparently Alyssa Milano was in for Netflix, was shot in Atlanta. Hopefully the state of Georgia, the Peach State, will continue to push on if they lose Alyssa Milano's Netflix program. Holy cow.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Napa know-how. It's the biggest holiday sale ever at Napa. Like a Black Friday sale every day, with hundreds of items at their best prices of the year. Like a 26-piece screwdriver set for only $17.99. Just $17.99. See, just like Black Friday, but nobody gets trampled. So don't miss Napa's biggest holiday sale ever. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/18.
Dashing through the snow to CVS we go. A $10 cash card for beauty brands and bows. Lights to dress the tree and stocking gifts galore. Candy cards and photo gifts and deals throughout the store. At CVS Pharmacy, we've got all the little things you need this holiday. Like a $10 CVS cash card. Yours when you spend $30 on select items like holiday decor going on this week. Plus M&Ms are BOGO free. Dash to CVS Pharmacy today. Restrictions apply. See cvs.com/weekly ad for details.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Get ready to make Range Day more awesome. Here's the perfect gift for the gun owner on your list or for yourself, a Hackett Equipment Range backpack. The Hackett Equipment Range backpack comes in 3 styles of Covert quality range backpacks that hold 2 to 4 pistols and carry a lifetime warranty. There's also an attachable rifle bag, tactical shooting glasses, all at affordable prices. You can even join the Hackett Equipment Army with a Hackett Equipment Pocket Pistol t-shirt. Hackett Equipment is a Chicago-based company that shares your values, and they'd like to share a smoking hot discount just for AM 560 listeners. Get 20% off all Hackett Equipment online products for a limited time with promo code AM 560. Plus, all orders over $100 receive free shipping on top of your 20% discount. Make trips to the shooting range easier and more fun by taking everything you need for a day at the range hands-free. Visit gunrangebags.com and see for yourself why Hackett Equipment bags have endless 5-star reviews. Have a blast at the shooting range and save 20% plus free shipping on orders over $100 with promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah, bye-bye, Brenda Snipes. Steve on 88 tweeting.
Oh, yeah.
Wanda Sykes will play Brenda Snipes in the made-for-TV movie, Polling the Electorate, Screwing Florida. All right, not bad.
I could see that.
Maybe she'll wind up in McHenry County. What's going on up there?
Oh,
we usually talk about Cook. McHenry County officials, Tribune reported this weekend, failed to include tens of thousands of ballots in Election Day results that were posted Tuesday, like 24,000 ballots. Pretty big number.
That's a lot.
Yeah, particularly in that county. It's so much that after those ballots that hadn't been counted were counted, it changed the outcome in one of the county board races, resulting in the first Democrat ever to be elected to the McHenry County Board, Carlos Acosta, pulling ahead of one of the Republicans and gaining a seat. 24,000 votes. Dave McSweeney, a Republican from Barrington State Rep, calling on the State Board of Elections to investigate how this error occurred.
Were they in a box in the back of a Avis rental car?
Does not say. That's always a possibility, though,
or were they somewhere
we
in
learned.
the building? We don't know where.
Yeah.
That's very fishy.
Yeah.
To say the least.
2,000 mail-in ballots remain outstanding. You know, any that are postmarked by Election Day will be counted, of course. But 24,000 votes affected by the undercount. There was an anomaly in the posted results. A number of races had significant undervote. Yeah, gosh.
And is that state rep race over there in that area? Helene
Walsh. It's the 20th. So tomorrow, all these races that are still counting the vote by mail ballots and stuff will be finalized.
Okay.
But it's not finalized yet. These little snafus for getting a count 24,000 votes.
24,000 is a lot.
How many times do we have to do this process? I mean, part of it, I understand. We've made it a lot more complicated for election officials with, early voting that starts today for 2020, basically, and also same-day voter registration and the like. But I mean, just in terms of systems, actual votes cast, I mean, missing 24,000 votes because of undervoting on those ballots. Well,
what is?
I don't get it. I don't get it. But and this is not exclusive to McHenry County. I'm talking about the competence issue here. I mean, DuPage is terrible too. DuPage is terrible, and Cook is Cook. Speaking of we were talking about Abrams and the Florida races.
Yeah.
This was a good piece by Beckett Adams in the Washington Examiner, how the media covers candidates challenging election results. So Stacey Abrams' defiance in the face of, frankly, an overwhelming vote spread that's not easily dismissed through sort of election fraud or disenfranchisement. These are the sort of arguments they routinely dismiss, laugh off. These things don't exist, according to the Democrats generally. Certainly election fraud doesn't. Disenfranchise, of course, is this argument that they trot out all the time, sans evidence. And there's actually evidence of election fraud. The Heritage Foundation collects it, more than 1,000 cases, but we're just supposed to dismiss the actual evidence and buy their fact-free argument about disenfranchisement. Okay, but it's important how they cover these stories, and so Beckett Adams picks up on this in the Washington Examiner. Friday, Associated Press headline on Abrams in her campaign to overturn the election results, and the headline, Abrams prepares push for new Georgia governor vote. Now, in New Mexico, a Republican state rep named Yvette Harrell was hoping against hope that her efforts to impound ballots would upend the results of the results for her in the state's 2nd congressional district. Democrat won by a narrow margin. The AP characterized Harrell's attempt, the Republican, to overturn the results of the House race. Republican refusing to concede U.S. House race questions vote. Abrams prepares push for new Georgia vote. Republican refusing to concede U.S. House race question vote. So the Republican is a ungracious loser, and Abrams is preparing to do something important, right? I mean, these are the subtle biases and agenda pushing that should be called out. Abrams was preparing an unprecedented legal challenge to that potentially had the state Supreme Court deciding whether or not to offer another round of voting in the governor's race. You want to talk about chaos? And Harrell, was trying to impound some ballots in terms of her narrow loss, but the way they're covered very different. Just the way they cover issues of ballot integrity, be it election fraud or disenfranchisement, very different.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
President Trump sits down with Chris Wallace for a wide-ranging interview over the weekend. We'll have the highlights.
And later, why President Trump says California should be more like Finland. Plus, Kanye West donates another 6 figures to a Chicago family. We'll tell you who and why. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
In Chicago, we have 21 degrees, 5:30 on AM 560. The Answer. Massive campfire continues to burn in Northern California. Officials from CAL FIRE, the state's forestry and fire protection agency, says the blaze will not be fully contained until at least the end of November. California Representative Adam Schiff toured the ashes and the burned-out buildings in that state over the weekend.
Climate change, they're going to be worse, and we need to take steps to reduce their frequency, reduce their severity.
The blaze has already left 77 dead. Florida Senator Bill Nelson conceding to Republican Governor Rick Scott in that state Senate race.
Well, things worked out a little differently than Grace and I had hoped, but let me say I by no measure feel defeated.
In a video message yesterday, Nelson saying he may have lost the race, but he still had the privilege of serving the people of Florida. A hand recount in that Florida Senate race finished up Sunday with Republican Rick Scott extending his lead and defeating the incumbent. Dozens gathered at a cemetery in Oakland, California Sunday, marking the 40th anniversary of the Jonestown tragedy and completion of a memorial there. California Democratic Congresswoman Jackie Speer was shot while investigating the cult in Guyana. She was working as an attorney for then Congressman Leo Ryan, who was killed on a nearby airstrip.
I shudder when people say it was a suicide, that they weren't willingly taking their lives. That was a mass murder.
The overwhelming majority of more than 900 people who died in Jonestown, Guyana on November 18, 1978, were members of the People's Temple, a cult led by Jim Jones, who instructed them to commit mass suicide. 5 non-cult members, including Leo Ryan, were murdered at a nearby airstrip as they were conducting an investigation. In other news we're following this morning, 3 people are hurt following a crash involving a tanker truck on the inbound Dan Ryan Expressway early this morning near 78th Street. Parents of football players at Simeon High in Chicago are accusing an IHSA official of cheating. Suit filed Friday against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth November 10th. Now, Mercado was on the sidelines watching as he was a parent of a player on Nazareth, which won that game 34-27. Suit requests that the IHSA vacate Nazareth's win and that the IHSA stops employing Mercado and the crew that worked that game. Authorities are investigating after 2 were shot in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood. Police say the shooting happened last night in the 1700 block of North Troy. Bears increased their lead in the NFC North with a 25-20 win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Jonathan Tays, Brandon Saad net first period goals. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the UC. The news, a service of T-Mobile. Now at Metro, buy a select Samsung Galaxy or LG phone and get a second one free on a new line. Metro by T-Mobile. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires qualifying plan. Phone free after all instant rebates. Free phone or of lesser or equal value. See store for details and terms and conditions. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants to know what we do with the migrant caravan now.
Portions of this caravan consisting of 900 Central Americans in 22 buses arrived in the northern border state of Sonora, escorted by state and federal police yesterday. We got 7,000 to 10,000 people arriving by bus, by car, by foot. I don't know. They're coming. And what's cable news going to say now?
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane. Ground Game is a weekly political conversation with AP reporters and guests. Available on Apple Podcasts.
5:36, and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Traffic on the outbound Kennedy Expressway is heavy right now from Nagel to Harlem, where a crash has cleared out of the way. Looking at about 28 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound for now, it's fine at 20 minutes. Edens is looking good at this hour. No significant delays to report yet on the Eisenhower, getting things a little more congested through the avenues. Inbound Stevenson. Traffic is heavy before Cicero to Pulaski. 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Inbound Ryan, traffic jam, 95th to 75th, crash the 2 right lanes. 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound now fine at 15. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford about 18 as well. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, chilly day ahead, increasing clouds, high 35. That will lead to some overnight flurries and a low of 25. Currently 24. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So President Trump sitting down with Chris Wallace over the weekend, wide-ranging interview, a lot of topics covered. Just starting with the president's mood after the midterms, we were talking about confirmation of those victories by Republicans in Georgia and Florida, which certainly buoyed Trump's mood. But he's an Ordinance Appeal guy, power positive thinking. He always sees the glass half full.
I will tell you, I'm extremely upbeat. The White House is running like a well-oiled machine. It's doing really well. I have great people. I will make some changes, but not very many. I'm very happy with my cabinet, other than, a couple of exceptions, and even there I'm not unhappy. And I will tell you that it's so wrong. The reporting about me is so wrong. I'm loving what I'm doing.
All right, loving what he's doing. And on the cabinet piece we'll get to in a second, but his characterization of the midterms, some back and forth between him and Wallace, whether or not the midterms were a referendum on Trump. Here's what the president said.
I won the Senate, and that's historic too, because if you look at presidents in the White House, it's almost never happened where you won a seat. We now have 53 as opposed to 51, and we have 53 great senators in the U.S. Senate. We won. That's a tremendous victory. Nobody talks about that. That's a far greater victory than it is for the other side. Number two, I wasn't on the ballot.
Well, you kept saying.
I said, look at me. I said, look at me.
Pretend I'm on the ballot.
But I have people, and you see the polls, how good they are. I have people that won't vote unless I'm on the ballot, okay? And I wasn't on the ballot.
312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. You think that's right? I mean, certainly you have higher turnout in presidential years than you do off presidential years across the board. So maybe some people who won't vote unless he's on the ballot are also coming out to vote against him in 2020. That's likely. But do you buy that rationale, that explanation of what happened on November 6th? The Senate gains more important than holding the House, and some Trump loyalists who were not necessarily consistent voters prior to 2016 didn't vote, so it's less of a referendum on him. The referendum on him comes in 2020. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line.
Wasn't voter turnout the highest it's ever been for a midterm election?
The highest it's been in a long time, 4 decades or something like that, yes.
Okay. But I do know somebody who is a huge Trump supporter who sat this one out, who just didn't, he even said he's not on the ballot. I don't care. I got my guy in.
Is he in Illinois?
Oh, yeah. But
Well,
he's the person that I had the long conversation with. I will drive you to the polling place if you need me to.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand.
Just for local elections.
I don't agree with it, but I can understand why somebody would look around at the state and local races to vote in if you live in Chicago or Illinois and say,
There was no Republicans to vote for on the ballot. There was nobody challenging Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. There was hardly anybody challenging, John Cullerton, all those guys. Just it's boring to be a Republican. You just have to make decisions and not vote on certain people.
Yeah, well, that's sort of it. Now, Trump, as he referenced, they're talking about some changes that may be forthcoming. Wallace got into specifics. Is Nielsen, DHS Secretary Nielsen, is she staying or going?
Well, I like her a lot. I respect her a lot. She's very smart. I want her to get much tougher, and we'll see what happens there.
Oh, vacillation right before the holidays. Is she in? Is she out?
Not exactly a vote of confidence.
No, that doesn't sit well for my girl.
Chief of Staff John Kelly, rumored to be on the chopping block as well.
What did he say?
President Trump previously said Kelly would serve out to 2020, but now he's hedging on that a bit.
We get along well. There are certain things I love what he does, and there are certain things that I don't like that he does that aren't his strength. It's not that he doesn't do, he works so hard. He's doing an excellent job in many ways. There are a couple of things where it's just not his strength. It's not his fault. It's not his strength.
Such as?
But I haven't even thought about John in terms of this. But John at some point is going to want to move on. John will move on.
So 2020 is no longer written in stone.
It could happen. Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be. But let's see what happens.
John will move on when I tell him to move on.
He could be going, could be staying. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a huge shakeup, but there may be key positions where personnel is changed out. And I mean, I don't know how much people actually care about this stuff, this palace intrigue. The president wants a chief of staff that he trusts. The only thing I would say about the chief of staff, that if he goes with Nick Ayers, who's Vice President Pence's chief of staff right now.
Right.
And that's one of the
what everyone's rumbling about.
Yeah, one of the rumored potential replacements for Kelly. I don't see that move. I don't see how that move makes sense. Ayers is a Beltway creature. young guy, but worked his way up through campaigns, the Republican Governors Association, was a political consulting firm, made a bunch of money, then came back with Pence. I don't see how that's consistent with what Trump, with the sort of person that Trump needs in furtherance of draining the swamp. The angle of instance, he has good relationships on the Hill. So what? I mean, yeah, okay, that's interesting and that's nice. The House Republicans in the minority are irrelevant. Mitch McConnell runs the House. Trump is Trump, so even if you have a go-between, that doesn't necessarily add that much value because it's going to be Trump's decisions on Trump's terms, Trump's fights on Trump's terms. So I don't know. I mean, I guess there would be potentially some value add in terms of strategic input on managing different personalities or seeing different openings in the Senate or in the federal government generally. But I think if you're trying to essentially lead a revolt against the ruling class, the swamp in D.C., I don't know that Nick Ayers is it. Now, I'm not saying that John Kelly is it either, but at least he's an implementation tool. Right. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. I mean, it's a guy who gets things done because that's what you do as a general leading our fighting forces.
Well, is there any other names being thrown around as possible replacements?
The one that I like more is Mick Mulvaney, OMB director, who is, I think, has more of the angle of incidents that Trump is trying to take with the swamp. So that would be, I think, a better choice from my perspective as an outsider. I don't know. I'm just saying, since we're playing kind of fantasy presidential staff. Now, he also was pressed on Matt Whitaker, of course, Iowa's very own.
Tight end. I mean, excuse me.
And he also played football.
Hey-o.
And
we graduated together.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, talk about.
Don't worry, I didn't make out with him. Or did I? Dun, 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 dun.
Not a
312-642-5600.
Not a competitive eater.
He was also friends with a competitive eater.
Friends with, but not a competitive eater. So he didn't have that same sex appeal.
I think
that
he
a
was
competitive
there
eater
when we
has.
cheered him on in the Hot Wings contest.
Yeah.
102 down in less than 3 minutes.
Boy, interesting. Compare the career trajectories.
Oh.
Acting Attorney General. Acting Attorney General Whitaker, Trump on that appointment.
I did not know he took views on the Mueller investigation as such.
And when you found that out?
I don't think it had any effect. If you look at those statements they really can be viewed either way. But I don't think it would have any effect.
Well, he says there's no collusion.
Chris, I'll tell you what.
He says you can starve the investigation.
What do you do when a person's right? There is no collusion. He happened to be right. I mean, he said it. So if he said there is collusion, I'm supposed to be taking somebody that says there is, because then I wouldn't take him for two reasons. But the number one reason is the fact that he would have been wrong. If he said that there's no collusion, he's right.
And now that Democrats are chomping at the bit to resuscitate the Mueller investigation, Trump asked Mike Wallace if he will take any involvement if Whitaker moved, consistent with his previous pronouncement on Mueller, to limit or curtail or artificially end the Mueller investigation.
If Whitaker decides in any way to limit or curtail the Mueller investigation, are you okay with that?
Look, it's going to be up to him. I think he's very well aware politically. I think he's astute politically. He's a very smart person, a very respected person. He's going to do what's right. I really believe he's going to do what's right.
But you won't overrule him if he decides to curtail.
I would not get involved.
Yeah, why would he get involved? I mean, you don't want him involved, right? Isn't that the mantra? So, now we want you to get involved because we don't like what's going on at the Department of Justice. When we liked what was happening, stay out of it. If something happens we don't like, then we demand you get involved. Yeah, I mean that's the definition of independent counsel, isn't it? And we understand who has oversight over the independent counsel's office, and yes, President Trump has oversight over the executive branch, but the argument that's been made for the last 2 years is, well, if he's a target of the investigation, obviously it would be a conflict of interest and potentially obstruction of justice were he to intervene to stop an investigation that includes him as a person of interest. So what else is he supposed to do? By the way, another interesting reveal on this whole Mueller investigation matter is that Trump is submitting written answers.
Yep, this week
to Mueller's questions, but unlikely there's going to be any face-to-face interview.
No, not my team. I'm preparing written answers. I'm the one that does the answer. Yes. Are they writing them out?
Yes.
Yeah, they're writing what I tell them to write.
Are they going to be submitted?
At some point very soon, yes. I've completed them.
So you are submitting.
And it wasn't a big deal. By the way, it wasn't a big deal. The questions were asked and answered. It wasn't a big deal. You know, they make it like I had meetings for many, many hours. I got the questions. I responded. We wrote them out. I read them once. I read them a second time. We made some changes. That's it. They're very simple. You know why? I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, they met 3 times last week, and that's fine. I mean, it wasn't for hours-long conversation, but...
Easy peasy, turns his homework in.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Oh, I love MyPillow and how it's changed the way I sleep. So when I heard about the new MyPillow mattress topper, I couldn't wait to try it. Now I don't know if I love MyPillow or the MyPillow mattress topper more. It is that good. You can get a great deal on a MyPillow mattress topper and start getting the best sleep of your life. The exclusive 3-layer design includes the MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and an ultra-soft patented temperature-regulating cover that, yes, you can throw in the washer and dryer. 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. You'll get the total body support you need and sleep better. And right now, you'll save 30% when you use the promo code Amy. Plus, get this, you'll also receive 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free with your MyPillow mattress topper order. Or you can still receive the buy one, get one free offer if you just want the MyPillows. So visit MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y in the promo code, MyPillow.com, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
In reference to the Nazis, Winston Churchill stated, "An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last." That wisdom certainly proved true.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Arizona's Republican Governor Doug Ducey earned 44% of the Latino vote en route to his easy re-election. No-hand recount for Governor-elect Ron DeSantis in Florida, who garnered 44% of the Latino vote and 14% of the black vote. The 400,000 Florida kids and 260,000 Arizona kids who benefit from school choice, the majority from minority families, are reshaping the GOP's electoral coalitions in those states. White Guilt author Shelby Steele argues this occurrence is more than a powerful argument for school choice. It's a messaging imperative for conservatives. As Steele told me, black families have moved beyond the idea idealism of the civil rights era to search for pragmatic answers to economic concerns the welfare state not only failed to address, but worsened. By contrast, Champaign socialists in the leafy suburbs are in search of a moral calling. The Black Lives Matter yard sign in the lawn of your local Mayflower descendant should have been a tip-off. Bottom line, we've been making the wrong arguments to the wrong constituents. Fiscal conservatism has limited appeal to the vanguard class, as does pantomiming Al Sharpton with minority families. For the latter, it's money they lack. For the former, to borrow from James Earl Jones and Field of Dreams, it's money they have and peace they lack.
Attention Second Amendment patriots. Just Target Guns of Libertyville in Lake County just returned from the largest gun show in America with new products. They're fully stocked for home defense and all shooting sports. Just Target Guns, located in Libertyville on Peterson Road, is the place to go for rifles, pistols, antique firearms, ammunition, and all levels of shotguns. Connie Shanahan and the knowledgeable staff at Just Target Guns will answer all your questions, no matter your level of experience, and help discover what you need for sports shooting, trap, skeet, target practice, or self-defense. Whether you're a novice shooter or a highly trained professional, Just Target Guns has got your brass covered. Get your FOID card, sign up for firearms training, and conceal and carry classes. Just Target Guns also has a skilled gunsmith on staff for repairs, and firearm appraisals are done in-house. Exercise your Second Amendment rights and set your sight on JustTargetGuns.com. That's JustTargetGuns.com.
It's Mike Gallagher, always honored when I get to visit with my dear friend Tom Sedeka, who's president and CEO of Precision Payroll of America, a 35-year-old company that still has its first employee and first client. It's pretty remarkable, Tom. You're a great patriot. You're a fantastic entrepreneur, and you got to be thrilled at the continued success of Precision Payroll. And I give all the credit to AM 560, The Answer, and the Mike Gallagher Show.
Thanks, Mike. And so do I. I have to tell you, working with you is an absolute treat and an honor. And the number of clients that we have gained over the years across the country from working with you has been a real blessing. So it is a real joy to work with somebody like Mike Gallagher and be on AM 560.
And it's a real joy for somebody like me to say for all your payroll processing or HR needs, go to PrecisionPayroll.com, PrecisionPayroll.com, or call Tom and his team, 630-242-1507, 630-242-1507, Precision Payroll of America.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, nice Bears victory yesterday.
Yeah. Never leave the game before not watching the fourth quarter. Well, the Vikings came back and scored 17 points. I got a little nervous.
Yeah. It's they're going to be a tough out. 20. Bears are going to be a tough out. Rams, Saints, I get it, but they're going to be a tough out with that defense. Did you see this story, speaking of the NFL? The Cleveland Browns alleged interest in Condi Rice to potentially fill their head coaching vacancy?
Well, apparently there was some locker room chatter of, I want to find the most responsible person. I don't even care if she's a woman. And then that somehow led into, what women would be qualified. And everyone thought Condoleezza Rice, since she's a huge football fan.
Right, because if you're a huge football fan,
that
by
translates
definition,
into coaching.
You're qualified to be the head coach of an NFL team.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think, this is going to happen in our lifetime, ladies. We might see an NFL head coach be a female. She'd be better off in the commissioner's box, but yeah. No.
Yeah.
Has Condi Rice responded to
That's real cute. Yeah, she said not ready to coach. She would like to call a player or two next season if the Browns need ideas. Well, you could have said that last year. They're on the upswing this year a little bit.
Does she have any interest in coaching a 5th and 6th grade flag football team?
In Lakeview?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Because we're looking for one for next year.
Also, apparently catching the Cleveland Browns' eye, Molly McGrath, who took Central High School, turned around the Central High School program here in Chicago. You remember.
I say they call me Trumaine, the ebony lover.
Wesley Snipes.
When I'm under the cover.
Better than diamond rings.
Oh my gosh.
Football. Remember the Goldie Hawn movie?
Oh, that's right.
Wildcat. She's the turns
that's
around.
Right. She turns around the football
Central
team.
High School in Chicago.
Right. That's right.
Goldie Hawn. She played a football coach in a movie. Why not coach the Cleveland Browns? What's the worst that could happen?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Sincere apologies to Baker Mayfield for having to quarterback the Cleveland Browns. Coming up, we'll talk about Trump's unwillingness to listen to the Khashoggi murder tape because it's icky at 6:06.
And later, a valiant return to the White House for Jim Acosta. Look at me. But now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
3 hurt in a Dan Ryan crash involving a tanker truck this morning. Simeon football parents accuse an IHSA official of cheating. Missing Lions man was found stabbed to death. Bears hold off the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Blackhawks top the Wild in a chilly day ahead with increasing clouds and a high of 35. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
President Trump makes the grade. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I hate to do it, but I will do it. I would give myself an A+.
The president citing the economy and jobs and funding the military and crediting himself with Republican election wins and races finally called in Florida for the Senate and governor and Georgia's governor's race. The president on Fox News Sunday was pressed, though, about his acting attorney general, Matt Whitaker, who now oversees the special counsel.
If Whitaker decides in any way to limit or curtail the Mueller investigation, are you okay with that?
Look, it's going to be up to him. I think he's very well aware politically. I think he's astute politically.
Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff told ABC's This Week Whitaker was never confirmed by the Senate and his appointment's not constitutional.
He was chosen for the purpose of interfering with the Mueller investigation.
The president, in a tweet, made Schiff's name sound like a bad word, spelling it with T's, not F's. Schiff tweeted, "Wow, Mr. President, that's a good one. Did you write it yourself?" The president also talked to Fox about the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
Despite pressure from lawmakers from both parties to punish Saudi Arabia, President Trump told Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday that he's reluctant to hear a tape purporting to capture Khashoggi's assassination.
I don't want to hear the tape. No reason for me to hear the tape.
Why don't you,
but
want,
I've been
why don't
fully
you want to hear it, sir?
Because it's a suffering tape. It's a terrible tape. I've been fully briefed on it.
The CIA has concluded with high confidence that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia authorized last month's premeditated killing of Khashoggi. Dave?
John, a vigil in wildfire-charred Northern California. For the 77 people killed, crews keep searching for nearly 1,000 others still unaccounted for. More than 10,000 homes burned down, the town of Paradise destroyed.
I think we'll come back bigger and better. Right now they've got Paradise strong, Ridge strong, and that's what we are.
This is Fox News.
Skies are fair this morning. We have 24 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 3 are hurt following a crash involving a tanker truck on the inbound Dan Ryan in Chicago. State police tell us the accident happened early this morning near 78th Street, causing the tanker to leak fuel. Multiple lanes are closed as crews clean up that spilled fuel. Parents of football players at Simeon High in Chicago are accusing an Illinois High School Association official of cheating. The suit filed against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth November 10th. The suit requests that the IHSA vacate Nazareth's win and the IHSA stops employing Mercado and the crew that worked that game. Candidates running for mayor of Chicago will be submitting their nominating petitions today. The same goes for candidates of all aldermanic races and those running for city clerk and treasurer. Candidates need a minimum of 12,500 signatures. And in 4 DuPage County towns that are eligible for primaries, they will be filing nominating petitions today for spots on the April 2nd spring ballot. Investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire at a bowling alley in Zion. Authorities say the blaze began yesterday morning inside Pinster's Bowl. The fire caused extensive damage. No injuries were reported. Bears increased their lead in the NFC North with a 25-20 win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football.
Just coming out here, being focused on what we need to do as a team, executing each and every single play, and coming out with a win. So I'm proud of the way we stuck together. It wasn't always pretty on offense, but we just grinded it out and did what we had to do, and it was a great team win.
Chicago has a quick turnaround. They travel to Detroit to take on the Lions on Thanksgiving, kickoff around 11:30 on Turkey Day. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1. Bulls will try and snap a 4-game losing skid when they take on the Suns Wednesday at the UC. The news a service of Metro by T-Mobile. Now at Metro, buy a select Samsung Galaxy or LG phone and get a second one free on a new line. Metro by T-Mobile, plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires qualifying plan. Phone free after all. Instant rebates. Free phone of lesser or equal value. See store for details and terms and conditions. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity just doesn't understand why Florida can't get it right.
It matters to every American here. We've got to get these elections right. And if one more election season is ever allowed to go by in Florida and allow Broward and Palm Beach to do what they're doing, we're never, ever going to get an accurate number already as it is. It is mind-numbing.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
Hello, I'm Lou Bridges. The 2008 housing crisis hit everybody hard, and it's not over yet. In the wake of the crisis, the government passed legislation and created a special federal agency just for the purpose of protecting consumers. If you're facing foreclosure or have been subject to unfair, harassing creditor behavior, there are laws to protect you. But you have to know those laws in order to use them and get the relief you need. Whether you're facing foreclosure, about to lose your home to a big bank or mortgage loan servicer, or if you were injured in an accident and need help in getting what you deserve from an insurance company, call our offices today. The big banks, mortgage loan servicers, and insurance companies have teams of aggressive lawyers fighting for them. And if you need help with dealing with a big bank, mortgage loan servicer, or an insurance company, you need someone fighting for you. I've been representing people in Illinois for almost 40 years in these fields. Call my office today for a free consultation. Call us at 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231. 224-513-1231. Lou Bridges and Associates, lawyers for people.
Going organic? Then go with the best. Eggland's Best Organic Eggs. More farm fresh taste and 100% organic quality. Superior nutrition, too. For my family, it's only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
In Lamont, 127th eastbound is closed. We do have it on High Road due to a jackknife semi. Kennedy inbound delays are 190 to Canfield, Nagle to Central. 25 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Edens is okay. Inbound Eisenhower, delays start at Manheim. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. And Stevenson, slow 83 to County Line. Jammed First Avenue to Cicero. And crash in the two left lanes is an hour from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35 minutes. Now Ryan jammed, emerged at 76 after a crash and fuel spill. Looking at 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 28 minutes, siding to the merge, Bishop Ford the same. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, chilly with increasing clouds, high 35. Mostly cloudy and cold tonight with a few flurries, low 25. Clouds and sun for tomorrow, another cold day with a high 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
24 at O'Hare, 26 along the lakefront, 15 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump sitting down with Chris Wallace for a wide-ranging interview over the weekend. A lot of topics covered, including the murder of Saudi op-ed writer Jamal Khashoggi. The tape is in the hands of the U.S. government, the murder tape, as it's called. But it seems like...
and it's described as very graphic and disturbing, but
well,
what murder tape wouldn't be? A
sort
bloody
of.
mess.
Seems like the president may have a bit of a delicate constitution when it comes to these matters. He doesn't want to listen to the tape.
We have the tape. I don't want to hear the tape. No reason for me to hear the tape.
Why don't
but
you,
I've been
why don't
fully
you want to hear it, sir?
Because it's a suffering tape. It's a terrible tape. I've been fully briefed on it. There's no reason for me to hear it. In fact, I said to the people, should I? They said, you really shouldn't. There's no reason. I know everything that went on in the tape without having to.
And what happened?
It was very violent, very vicious, and terrible.
I mean, so you're right. The details really matter. He was tortured and murdered
and disassembled.
And the Saudis have indicted 5 people connected to the murder that they're pursuing capital punishment against, in addition to the administration imposing sanctions on 17 allegedly connected to the murder that also connect back to
the Crown Prince.
MBS. And so does President Trump want to do more than issue those sanctions when it comes to the Saudis, or do we have to, deal with the Saudis as the lesser of many evils in the Middle East?
Do you just live with it because you need him?
Well, will anybody really know? All right, will anybody really know? But he did have certainly people that were reasonably close to him that were probably involved. You saw we put on very heavy sanctions, massive sanctions on a large group of people from Saudi Arabia. But at the same time, we do have an ally, and I want to stick with an ally that in many ways has been very good.
And President Trump said the CIA full report will be out tomorrow.
For more on this topic and a few other geopolitical matters, we're pleased to be joined again by Colonel Cedric Leighton, CNN military analyst and security consultant who served on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as well as the National Security Council. Colonel Leighton, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
You bet, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning. How did you receive Trump's comments on about the Khashoggi murder and on the regime in Saudi Arabia? What recommendations would you have for the president, given what we know about how Khashoggi was murdered?
Well, certainly Khashoggi's murder was one of the most brutal murders that any government has perpetrated on any of its citizens. It was a heinous crime. The president is in a real dilemma here, and what he's wrestling with publicly. It's very clear that we do have strategic interests that coincide with Saudi Arabia's strategic interests. The president has made it very clear that he opposes the regime in Iran. And the logical counterweight to that regime for many years, even predating the Trump administration, all the way back to the late 1970s, to the Iranian Revolution, has been Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is very conservative kingdom. It is a country that is seeking to modernize, and the engine of that modernization in recent times, at least, has been MBS, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And this is a classic dilemma of foreign policy, and it's really coming out into the open. In the past, you would have these things really hidden from public view. But my recommendation would be to pressure the Saudis to remove Mohammed bin Salman as crown prince. and find someone else in the royal family to serve in that capacity, because in essence that person is going to be the acting king based on the health of King Salman, who is not as engaged in day-to-day affairs as he once was because of his health considerations. But this is one of the most difficult things that the president has to deal with, because you don't want a revolution in Saudi Arabia either, and that's a very, very difficult issue to deal with.
Right. I mean, this is not a unique situation for America to deal with, right? I just was thinking about this over the weekend with the interview he gave and, frankly, the release of Narcos Mexico on Netflix. Thinking about the murder of Kiki Camarena, the DEA agent that really in the late 80s, that really escalated the drug war, the Reagan administration to present. And because that murder was sanctioned by the Mexican government at the time, they did some things like eliminate the DFS, their sort of intelligence force, if you will, to appease the Americans. But it's not like we stopped dealing with the Mexican government. We stopped making compromises with the Mexican government. We recognized the strategic importance of Mexico, and we had to figure out a way to hold people accountable, but work this relationship going forward. And it seems to me we're sort of in the same position with Saudi Arabia because of their importance in the region, particularly as a bulwark against Iran.
Absolutely. And that's the real problem. I mean, viscerally or emotionally, you would want to punish them for the Saudis for this action, and it's obviously a very brutal murder. But the other side of it is, if you let them go, if you don't have that that connection to them, it'll get even worse. They will go completely crazy with their dissidents, and then the risk is, of course, that there'll be a huge social and political upheaval in that country, and that's another thing you don't want, because you never know what comes next if something like that is unleashed, as we saw in Iran, just as an example, from the late 70s, and that's the kind of thing that you have to consider. It would be desirous to not have to deal with Mohammed bin Salman, but the reality of the situation is that you'll probably have to end up dealing with him anyways, because even in spite of my view that he should go, the likelihood of him going is probably minimal.
Well, why did the Crown Prince order or allegedly order Jamal Khashoggi's murder? What did he do to him exactly?
Well, Amy, that's to us it would seem to be not the pretext for that kind of a reaction. But basically, what Khashoggi did was he criticized the royal family, and he was kind of within that circle. He had been an advisor to the Crown Prince. He had been an advisor to the royal family writ large. And when somebody from that circle turns on you, I think the reaction from the Saudi Crown Prince was one of anger, and that was the reaction that perpetrated this kind of action. It is absolutely not excusable. It is, I guess, on an emotional level, perhaps understandable, but it certainly is not something that could and should have happened. You should have realized that it is far better to listen to a critic than to muzzle a critic.
Well, yeah. That's not exactly their policy, is it?
It is, yeah, unfortunately.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the report, observed the successful test of an unspecified, newly developed ultra-modern tactical weapon, according to state-run media in North Korea. Said that it doesn't appear that it was nuclear in nature, but I don't seem to have much in terms of detail and frankly, how much should we trust what's coming out of state-run media in North Korea? But how did you interpret that story?
Well, that's a very interesting situation. Clearly, it seems not to have been a nuclear device, because there was no detection of any nuclear blast during the time that Kim Jong-un was there, or even before or after that. So the way I see it is, it's probably some kind of either short-range or long-range artillery system, a conventional system, what the North Koreans are doing is they're removing some of their older artillery pieces, conventional artillery pieces that are targeting Seoul. So that's a good thing from a peace and confidence building mechanism. But what they're probably looking at here is developing some kind of a system that can actually replace the aging system. So they're in the throes of modernizing their military, and this is one way to do it. They also have to keep in mind they also have to keep the military on their side. So the development of new weapon systems is something that will assure people that this is happening. And whether they're really developing something or this is just propaganda may not matter in the final analysis. The fact that the deal leader was seen looking at this and was observed talking about it, that is indication enough that they want to modernize their military and that they're looking at creating a system where they can safely make concessions to South Korea, to the United States potentially, and still assure the security of their country. But my guess is probably some kind of multiple launch rocket system that is available to them that was probably started even before Kim Jong-un assumed power.
And more comedic fodder for the boys, South Park boys, for sequel to Team America. Colonel Cedric Leighton, CNN military analyst, security consultant who served on the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the National Security Council. Colonel Leighton, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
You bet, Dan. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Winners don't wait for chances. They take them, seizing opportunities that come their way, having the courage necessary to make the game-winning play when it's all on the line. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Your home for Husky basketball is right here on the Northern Illinois Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies battle the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles this Friday morning at 11. NIU basketball is on AM 560. The Answer.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes, warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you could either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Your Balance of Nature did boost up my immune system, so I love it. I normally get sick in the winter maybe 2 or 3 times. I only got sick once this year. And I normally get fever blisters, and I haven't gotten them. And my fiance noticed a boost in energy in me.
My head is a little clearer. I don't feel quite so foggy. I was able to spend a week or so working on my winter supply of firewood and get it in the garage. So it gave me the endurance to do the job.
The only thing I could say is I don't get sick. I used to get a lot of colds.
Taking Willow's various supplements from a cost point of view was more expensive than your product. I'm getting proven results with yours.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Jim Acosta, hero, discuss. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Did you see it? It happened on Friday. A judge ruled that President Trump, the White House, had to give back Jim Acosta his press pass, and he valiantly returned to the White House lawn, to the press area, and outside, flanked by cameras from 3 different countries, reporters from all over. He approached the microphone and said, "Hey, do you guys have any questions?"
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Jim.
Well, you guys want to ask a question, or
Why are you so
I can
great?
Tell you,
How do you do it?
I just want to say that I'm very grateful for what happened today, and grateful for my colleagues in the press who stood by us through all of this. This was a test, and I think we passed the test. And at this point, honestly, guys, this is just any other day here at the White House for me.
Yeah.
I would like to get back to work. And
yeah, boy.
And so should you.
What
So go back to work.
Go back to work, everybody.
Jim, you're a consummate professional.
Keep on doing our jobs.
Keep on doing your job.
A more important moment in world history, a greater blow for freedom, Jim Acosta's press pass being temporarily reinstated, or Nelson Mandela being released from prison. I just want to understand proportion
coverage
here.
Well, he was on C-SPAN and on C-SPAN too, and he had some
Wow.
advice. I mean, this is big time.
Double billing on C-SPAN.
Oh, yeah.
There's 15, 20 people watching that.
The only advice I would give to future journalists is to, do your jobs. Try to, day in and day out, when you do your job, do what's right, follow the truth.
Yeah.
And that's always worked for me.
Really? Yeah.
And I try to do that, every day that I come here to the White House.
And then he had some PR rep with him.
I love you, Jim Acosta.
So he tried to leave. So he's like, reporters, we got to, all of us, come on, let's go back in. We got to go back in. Come on now, we got to end this. Let's go. But they kept asking him questions.
What was going through my mind was, I hope this works out. And, it worked out. I have to say that in addition to my faith in
God,
Bill of Rights,
country.
Constitution,
Constitution,
Bill of Rights.
The amendments of the Constitution.
Yeah,
that
right.
protect
That's the Bill of
our jobs
Rights.
here
Yeah, no, we
over
got
here at the
that.
White House.
Yeah.
I was also confident in our system of justice in this country.
Follow-up question, Jim. Did you ever fear for your life? Or did you just throw caution to the wind and said, if this is my moment to be taken, then so be it, because I'm fighting for a cause bigger than me?
But wait, one more thing. Still trying to get into the building. Still trying, but they keep asking him questions.
But honestly, guys,
Hey, this isn't
my
about
job
me.
here is to cover the guy in there. So
It's a Johnny Punch clock.
I'm glad you're asking me these questions.
That's all I am.
But at this point, I just want to say I'm grateful, and I want to say it again. I'm really grateful to all of my colleagues in the press.
Yeah.
Who stood by
Love
us
you, Jim!
in this
Like he's going to war.
in this
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
This was a moment that to me, it just felt like a test for all of us.
Yeah. I just,
Enough. Okay. Do you, anybody else have a question?
Like, hero is become cheap and through overuse.
I know.
But in this instance, it is merited. And I think all of his friends, his many, many friends in the D.C. press corps, yeah, right, I'm sure feel the same way.
Well, after the ruling, President Trump and Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said that the White House is writing up rules to address decorum at briefings. Or President Trump just could not choose him, when he raises his hand during a press conference.
Oh, by the way, the case
stay away from that.
The case has not been adjudicated completely. It's a TRO that reinstates his press pass. So if the White House wanted to continue to litigate it, they could. And, oh, by the way, the real victor here is President Trump and Sarah Sanders, because they get Jim Acosta back in the press pool, which is exactly where they want him.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A California Dem Socialist congressman wants to take away all your guns, and he says he's willing to go to war to do it. That's 6:36.
And Mia Love pulls ahead of her Democratic challenger for the Utah House. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
24 degrees. Heavy rain headed to parts of northern California this morning. The National Weather Service actually posting an alert just moments ago about the heavy rain headed to the areas devastated by the Camp Fire. National Weather Service says up to 4 inches of rain is expected to fall in the area Tuesday through Friday. Brandy Carpenter is a hardware store clerk in the area, says they've been busy selling masks that protect people from the poor air quality.
It's been crazy. We've basically sold out every day since the fire started.
Rain will also fall on San Francisco. They've been blanketed with the heavy wildfire smoke as well. The death toll now stands at 77. There are 75 confirmed cases of the measles this morning in New York's Rockland County, 24 in Brooklyn, 14 in New Jersey, and the outbreak is spreading. It's in the Orthodox Jewish communities and is tied to travel to Israel. Supervisor of elections in Florida's Broward County is stepping down amid controversy over how the recent recount was handled in her county. Brenda Snipes came under fire after her office lost over 2,000 ballots during a machine recount last week. Tallahassee, Florida Mayor Andrew Gillum is conceding again, releasing a Facebook video statement alongside of his wife over the weekend.
RJ and I wanted to take a moment to congratulate Mr. DeSantis on becoming the next governor of the great state of Florida.
The Democrat admitted the Republican congressman had won the race to be Florida's next governor. Current student at Oak Lawn Community High School was arrested late last night for allegedly posting a threat on social media to bring a gun to school and open fire. Oak Lawn Community High School officials sent out several messages informing parents of the threat reportedly made on the social media platform Snapchat. Administrators at Oak Lawn Police say the incident does not warrant a school closing today. Oak Lawn Police will have extra officers on campus. Parents of football players at Simeon High in Chicago are accusing an IHSA official of cheating. The lawsuit filed Friday against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth on November 10th. Mercado is a parent of a player on Nazareth, which won the game 34-27. So you may be traveling over the long Thanksgiving holiday, or maybe heading through Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport around the Christmas holidays. Well, here's something that you might not be able to pass up. Selfies with live baby alligators. Gators are being brought into the baggage claim area every Friday by the Audubon Nature Institute to Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans. You can snap a pic, even touch the gators. Some are going to be 3 feet long. Chicago sports. Bears increase their lead in the NFC North with a 25-20 win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. The Bears have a quick turnaround. They travel to Detroit next to take on the Lions on Thursday. Jonathan Tays, Brandon Saad score first-period goals. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the United Center. The news, a service of Amazon, raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at Amazon.com/Chicago Jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
One thing became painfully apparent this past election cycle. There are forces out there trying to destroy the America we know. And guess what? Those forces are still there. The election didn't change that. All this election did was restart the clock. In 2 years, we'll have to stand up and do it all again. Are we going to let the forces of darkness take back this country? Or are we going to stand up and fight for what's right? Stick with this station to get your marching orders. AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for Shrink Smoke and Gun November AR sale. All AR-type rifles and pistols are on sale. You can also get a wheel of a deal on all wheel guns with all revolvers, discounted this month. Discounts on ARs and revolvers are up to 20% off. And with the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, you will avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax with just a short drive north. For gunsmithing, you know you can count on family-owned Shrinks for over a half a century. And cigar lovers, be sure to stock up at Shrink's Humidors. Don't miss Shrink's November AR sale, and be sure to check Shrink's website and Facebook for exciting Black Friday sale announcements and to sign up for Shrink's mailing list. Visit SmokeTheletterN.gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Shrink Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. Sale prices do not apply to consignment or clearance firearms.
Pat Boone here again for Relief Factor, the company that's helping thousands of people, just like my wife Shirley and me, deal with all kinds of occasional aches and pains. For years, Shirley struggled with her neck, and her shoulder pain kept her from sleeping through the night. A lot of people, just like Shirley, struggle with aches and pains due to aging or exercise. Why don't you order the 3-week Quick Start? It's now only $19.95, and let's see if we can get you out of pain too. Go to ReliefFactor.com.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio. This is the time more than ever to look at your accounts and say, you know what? I've made a good amount of money back. Why give that money back, especially if you're entering into retirement and you need to generate an income? You need to have all of that money. So why give back what you've earned back from 2008?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane. Ground Game is a weekly political conversation with AP reporters and guests. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
We are seeing delays on I-55 northbound. First from Weber to 53, Lavant Road to Cass, and 83 to County Line, and it's jammed. From the Des Plaines River Bridge to Cicero with a crash now on the left shoulder. It's an hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 58 minutes from Tri-State, about 36 minutes to 355. Eden's 26 minutes like Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 28 minutes O'Hare to downtown. On Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to the Circle. It's 37 minutes from Manheim. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 31. Northbound Tri-State, it's slow in pockets from Reagan tollway to Lawrence. The other tollways are okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, chilly. Clouds on the increase with a high of 35, cloudy, cold, a few flurries, low 25 overnight. Currently 24 at O'Hare, but 15 this morning in Aurora, 20 in Lansing. Your next news update is at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the left's position, right, don't want to ban guns. They're not interested in banning guns. They're not interested in gun confiscation. They're not interested in infringing upon the individual right to self-protection. They just want to ban military-grade weapons, assault weapons, the scary terms they use, because to not do so would be to operate in liege with school shooters. At least that's what I saw from commercials that were targeted at Republicans this cycle. Yeah. That reasonable middle ground. They're not extremists. Have you met California Congressman Eric Swalwell, who, by the way, I guess thinks he's going to run for president in 2020?
Okay.
Why not, I guess.
Get in line.
Sure. Jump in. The water's warm. In an op-ed in USA Today, here's Swalwell's proposal. The government should offer up to $100,000 for every weapon covered under an assault weapon ban that he proposes.
Okay.
He estimates
the gun buyback program.
Yeah, he estimates it would take $15 billion to buy back roughly 15 million weapons. Oh, and here's the kicker. And criminally prosecute any who choose to defy the buyback by keeping their weapons. So it's not a voluntary buyback. No. It's sort of an eminent domain buyback. And you're not necessarily getting market value depending on your weapon. I mean, $1,000. My
yes.
MP Sport rifle costs more than that. Democrats, he also went on to say the right to live is supreme over any other.
Oh, thank you.
He said that unironically. He then got into a bit of a Twitter discussion.
With you?
Not me. But somebody suggested that, they would resist this mandatory buyback program and suggested of Swalwell's proposal that the government is declaring war on gun owners. Swalwell responded saying this, and it would be a short war, my friend. The government has nukes, too many of them, but they're legit. I'm sure if we talked, we could find common ground to protect our families and communities. So I'm going to
know that most gun owners are responsible gun owners, and that the thugs out there who have guns don't follow the laws anyway.
Well, I'm going to force you to sell your gun to the government, guns that I deem should be banned. And then the government has nukes? You know what? I mean, you're talking about
going nuclear?
Literally? So when this guy tweets at Swalwell that the government is willing to go to war against law-abiding gun owners, Swalwell triples down by saying, and the government has nukes. It would be a short war. Boy, you're gonna wipe gun owners off the planet. Boy, that's just the left not only has Swalwell not only concedes the left's interested in gun confiscation, he takes it all the way to
DEFCON 5.
Well, the end game. Yeah.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Nuclear winter for gun owners. That's Democrats' position. They're not extremists. They're not extremists, though. Huh. Yeah. Swalwell also got into a discussion online. This guy's got a lot of time on Twitter. With Dana Lash, who's, a spokesman for the NRA. And they went back and forth. I'm not interested in banning semi-automatic pistols, just semi-automatic
rifles.
And then she asked him, can you explain to me the difference between assault weapons and semi-automatic rifles? Is a .223 okay, but a .30-06 not? Why? She's still waiting for an answer to that because, of course, these people don't know what they're talking about as it pertains to guns. This is feel-good legislation, although law-abiding gun owners and perhaps some of the people you live with that are swayed by the hysteria generated by the Swalwells of the world, you think it's legitimate, if not persuasive, to compare Republicans who support the individual right to self-protection as so determined by the Supreme Court of the United States, to compare them to school shooters? You find that compelling argument, do you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Swalwell saying, Australia got it right with the mandatory gun buyback law that Australia instituted,
After a
and
mass shooting there.
and that he would want to institute here. Here's the thing that Swalwell doesn't address and doesn't care to address, which is all the more telling. Australia doesn't have the United States Constitution, doesn't have the individual right to self-protection. What he's suggesting would be unconstitutional, and I'd love to see it get to the High Court. In addition to that, well, let's take a call. Annie on the north side, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
First of all, we do have a Constitution which guarantees us that right, and that will not ever change. He's going to have to come and get our guns, which is going to be difficult if you don't have one. And you can look at England and see, and I don't understand why the left doesn't get this, it's not the object, it's the human. Knife attacks are up, vehicle attacks are up, so take the guns away, we can use bats, knives. They just don't make sense. Thank God we have this Constitution.
Thanks for calling. Well, we've talked about on the show, too, that Britain has moved to knife control, literally.
Yep.
They have knife control regulations because of the instance of the stabbing attacks that Annie was referencing.
And if you want to rent a truck in Europe, you're going to be fully vetted. And they didn't do that before. So
Ban assault weapons as the government defines them. Go after the resistors. That is the position of Eric Swalwell. Mike on the north side.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I have two questions for this congressman on the left. If we could ban certain tools or objects or firearms because they might, in the wrong hands, cause mayhem, can we round up and incarcerate certain groups of people because they could cause problems? It's not a big jump to go from the objects to the people. We start going after whole groups of people, not because of who they are, but because of what color their skin is.
Wow.
And second of all,
yeah.
And if you're going to use that logic, and second of all, if someone's right to life trumps someone else's right to bear arms, then I guess we should get rid of abortion and all the abortion clinics, right?
Thanks for the call, Mike. I mean, here's the thing. Right. Proactively punishing the law-abiding for the acts of criminals, bad precedent, particularly when constitutional rights are at stake. And also, for all those draping themselves in the First Amendment in the wake of the Acosta TRO temporarily reinstating his press pass on Friday. Yeah. I mean, as Heston said, there is no First Amendment without the Second Amendment. That's why the Second Amendment is actually the First Amendment, quote unquote. But I mean, just so cavalier with the rights of others that aren't relevant to them are the sentimental barbarians of the left. Dave in Lamont.
Yes, sir. Good show as always.
Thank you.
My quick comment is what that presidential hopeful candidate said reveals a far bigger issue than just the gun issue. What's indicative in his heart, what this reveals is his heart, in that he said, "Oh yeah, we'll go to war with you. We'll kill all you off."
Yeah.
That happened to be the gun issue, but is that not totalitarian? Is that not fascist? Is that not the fear that people had under Stalin or under Hitler? And yet they accuse people on the right of being fascist and all this kind of thing. I mean, this divide in America is a very serious thing. And if you read a lot about the 30s and Germany and whatnot, I'm literally fearful in a generation or two we could have a civil war in this country. I hope I'm really, really wrong and naive, but that's just me.
Thanks for the call, Dave.
I don't think it's going to come to that because this Democratic lawmaker is just squawking right now. I mean,
well, I know that was supposed to be like sarcasm talking about nukes. I mean, although that's that sarcasm we're not supposed to indulge when it comes from the president on Twitter. He's not allowed to joke around in Twitter exchanges, but Eric Swalwell is. I mean, it also just speaks to how sophomoric the mediocre intellects we're dealing with here, like Swalwell. Why would you even take it there, even as a joke? You're a member of Congress, for goodness sakes. And by the way, I've said the same about some of Trump's pronouncements on Twitter too.
Yes, you have.
I mean, seriously. Tom in Deer Park.
Oh, good morning. I'd like to make my annual comment on gun control. There were 600,000 hunters in the woods in Wisconsin over the weekend. High-powered rifles, high-capacity magazines, many were semi-automatic. And of 600,000 firearms in the woods, guess how many assaults there were? Drive-bys, attempted murders, and murders. The answer is 0. That's my comment on gun control. Thank you.
What do you think? How many of those guys you think would give up their weapon for $1,000 from the government?
It's not a buyback. That's a lie. What he says, calling it a buyback. It's mandatory confiscation, masked in language once again from these people.
And here's $1,000 to make you feel better about your rights being stripped. Exactly. Thanks, Tom.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A short trading week ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. High medical costs expected in emergency care. Jell-O encouraging kids to play with their food. Those stories next.
Mom always used to say you are what you eat, and she was right. But who knows what's healthy anymore? Here's something. Drink Super Beets. Super Beets is a circulation superfood. Just one glass a day helps give you the cardiovascular power of this amazing vegetable. Why is this important to you? It's all about healthy blood flow. If you're over 40, your body may be losing its efficiency around energy, stamina, and even maintaining healthy blood pressure. Drinking good-for-you superfoods helps feed your body's cardiovascular and circulatory system and boost your stamina and energy at the core level. Professional and college athletes trust Super Beets to help them be their best, and you should too. Go to elderbeets.com and try Super Beets for yourself. And right now you get an additional 30-day supply of Super Beets for no additional cost with your first order, plus free shipping. Go to elderbeets.com today or call 800-996-3406. 800-996-3406.
Wall Street going back to work, but for a truncated trading week. Thursday is Thanksgiving. Many of the country's top retailers moving up their annual Black Friday sales, some planning to begin on the holiday itself. One less joyful tradition of Thanksgiving week is the number of emergency room visits. The National Institutes of Health warning injuries from carving turkeys and cooks burning themselves on stoves cause urgent care and hospital visits to skyrocket, and the cost averaging about $1,500 a visit. Kids will soon be encouraged to play with their food. Jell-O has introduced what it calls edible slime, a squishy, stretchy goop that it hopes kids will play with and then eat. It will be available in retailers next month. Can't wait. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, are you thinking about the IRS right now? Man, if the IRS is coming after you, your problem, your IRS problem is there day and night. You need help to fight the IRS. I recommend you call my very good friend, Attorney Stephen Leahy of Open Tax Resolutions. Hey, he's got a special offer going on right now. If you're not certain about your position with the IRS, he will pull your personal IRS transcripts and find out exactly where you stand for free. Find out where you stand. If you owe back taxes, if you have unfiled returns. Hey, if you're afraid of the IRS, call my friend Steve Leahy now. 312 664-6649. Steve's the host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard every Sunday at 5 right here on AM 560. He's also a really good friend of mine, and I don't know of anybody better in dealing with the IRS. Call him now. Steve Leahy, 312-664-6649. That's 312-664-6649.
Hey, I'm Brant. So there's this guy named Jordan. He's a healthy guy. He's a dad of 6, and he works as a guide in Alaska. And he goes to the doctor, true story, he goes to the doctor and he's diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. And here's the thing. He had switched earlier from medical insurance to Medishare, where Christians share each other's medical bills. So the question for Jordan and his wife, Jenny, was, is this actually going to work?
Our medical bills exceeded $160,000. Medishare members shared all our bills.
And it was about more than just the money, too. This is a real community.
Medishare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life. I just don't know how I could have done it without Medishare.
It's so worth looking into. There's a reason this is growing so fast. So if you want to find out more, here is a number for you, 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try. And I've been just happy as can be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
You
Oh my
you
gosh.
believe in ghosts and the occult, right,
Yes,
Amy?
I do.
Yeah. Well, this story is right in your wheelhouse. I know you've had experiences with ghosts.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
My Nana saved me from a fire in my bed in Mount Prospect back in 1983. But yes, go on.
Well, the Broaddus family has had an experience with something perhaps supernatural. Their house in New Jersey.
Oh, is it haunted?
It looks like the house from Amityville Horror.
See, that's unfortunate. That low curbside appeal, okay? Realtors.
Well, it was like a $1.2 million spread.
Well,
but
change the
they're
windows.
having problems, 1.35, I should say. But they're having a problem selling it now because the house comes with the Watcher.
When a New Jersey family moved into a new home, they began receiving disturbing letters from someone who called themselves the Watcher. Now, after years of torment, that family is finally speaking out.
This is the now infamous Watcher House at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. The stately 3,900-square-foot home boasting 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, and one very disturbing mystery that kept the Broaddus family from ever moving in. Just 3 days after buying the nearly $1.4 million home in 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus say they began receiving threatening letters from someone who identified themselves as the Watcher, the anonymous writer who claimed to keep a close eye on the house, referring to the couple's 3 small children as young blood in a series of menacing messages.
Okay, they moved, right? Right away?
First, they tried to find the letter writer.
The Watcher wrote, "My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Why are you here? I will find out." The Watcher seemingly taunting the Broadduses, who tell New York Magazine they lived in fear and became obsessed with trying to figure out who wrote the letters. Derek Broaddus says, "I was a depressed wreck."
Who wrote the letters? Did they get the FBI involved? Local police?
They left.
The family ultimately moved in with Maria Broaddus's parents before deciding to put 657 Boulevard back on the market. The house never sold,
I wonder
becoming
why.
a local urban legend. The identity of the Watcher still unknown.
And they did rent it out once.
The Broadduses say a renter received a letter listing various forms of revenge, along with the message, "You are despised by the house," and the watcher won.
What, how can they not figure out who it is? Get a handwriting analyst. Where's the postmark date? Where was the letter processed through? What plant?
Did your Nana have a place in Westfield, New Jersey, by any chance? No, so it's not her.
Binghamton, New York.
Yeah. Stone's throw. Yeah.
Oh, that's so scary. That's ridiculous.
It's not scary.
So they're out $1.4 million. That's the scary part.
It's not scary. It's a forthcoming James Wan movie. I can't wait for it.
Thanks, Dan. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want you to think about the watcher.
Okay, stop.
The rest of the
Okay.
day. The rest of your day.
Of our life. Coming up on... We stopped with the music. It's scaring me.
Exactly.
Please? Oh.
You and Trump, delicate constitutions. Coming up, Down syndrome children appeal to be put on the endangered species list. 7:07.
But first, let's get into the newsroom and catch up with news here at home and around the world. Here's Mike Scott.
3 hurt in a Dan Ryan crash this morning. Simeon football parents accuse the IHSA officials of cheating. Bears hold off the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Blackhawks top the Wild. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
He's finally Florida's senator-elect. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'm excited about the win. I'm excited about going to Tallahassee, to D.C.
Governor Rick Scott was declared the winner after a second recount.
Well, it was very frustrating. We when I announced we'd won that Tuesday night, we were up 57,000 votes. And they just kept finding ballots.
Scott beat Democratic Senator Bill Nelson by only about 10,000 votes. And in much scrutinized Broward County, where there were lawsuits and fraud allegations, election supervisor Brenda Snipes has reportedly resigned. President Trump's pick for acting attorney general still under scrutiny. There's a court battle over it, and Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff told ABC's This Week.
And ethically, he should have absolutely nothing to do with the investigation.
But the president is backing Matt Whitaker. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump told Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday that he was unaware of Whitaker's past remarks about red lines that shouldn't be crossed and hobbling the Mueller investigation into possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia when he appointed him to replace Jeff Sessions.
He's a very smart person, a very respected person. He's going to do what's right. I really believe he's going to do what's right.
The president said it's going to be up to Whitaker when asked if he would accept any move by the acting attorney general to curtail special counsel Mueller's investigation. Dave?
Now, John, the president also told Fox,
I think I'm doing a great job. We have the best economy we've ever had.
Giving himself an A+. And one more thing, the president said he will not listen to the audio recording of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi's murder, saying he doesn't need to hear the suffering. In Northern California, a vigil for the 77 dead wildfire victims as the search continues for nearly 1,000 people still unaccounted for. Many more living in shelters or tents after the fire burned down more than 10,000 homes.
Coming out of Paradise, going to Chico, I mean, there's flames on each side of our truck.
This is Fox News.
Fair skies, 24 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott, a current student at Oak Lawn Community High School, arrested late last night, allegedly posting threats on social media to bring a gun to school and open fire. OLCHS officials sent out several messages informing parents of the threat reportedly made on the social media platform Snapchat. Administrators and Oak Lawn Police say the incident did not warrant closing school today. Oak Lawn Police have not determined if the threats made earlier this month are related. Those threats turned out to be unfounded. 3 are hurt following a crash involving a tanker truck on the inbound Dan Ryan Expressway near 78th Street early this morning. Parents of football players at Simeon High in Chicago accusing an IHSA official of cheating. The suit filed Friday against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth Academy on November 10th. Mercado is a parent of a player on Nazareth, which won that game 34-27. Some local church leaders are demanding a further investigation into the deadly police shooting of a black security guard earlier this month at a bar in Robbins. Pastors held a vigil yesterday outside St. John Community Church to show support for Jamel Roberson's family. Former Blackhawk coach Joe Quenneville still enjoying the Chicago sports scene after being fired by the Hawks earlier this month. Coach Q was spotted tailgating yesterday evening in a Soldier Field parking lot before the Bears' victory over the Vikings, 25-20. Mitchell Trubisky threw a TD pass and 2 INTs for the Bears. It was the defense that was shining at the end of the night, including Bears safety Eddie Jackson.
Feels good. It feels great, but it's just a lot that we could take from this game, especially about finishing in the fourth quarter, but it's a great win, 25. We want to enjoy this and get back and focus on Detroit.
Chicago has a quick turnaround when they travel to Detroit to take on the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Jonathan Toews, Brandon Saad with goals. Hawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the UC. The news, a service of Skull Shaver. Around 90 seconds and you're done. Seriously, that's how little time it takes to shave your head with the all-new Pit Bull from Skull Shaver. Shave wet, shave dry, shave well. With no cuts, no nicks, no problem. Go to skullshaver.com. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507 or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
There's nothing like Eggland's Best Eggs. More of the farm fresh taste I love. Superior nutrition, too. For my family, I buy only the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
On the Eisenhower Expressway outbound, traffic stop and go from Central to St. Charles with a crash in the two left lanes. 57 minutes from downtown to 390. About an hour and 4 minutes. Gapers from before North Avenue to St. Charles. It's heavy Manheim most of the way downtown. Edens is 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 38 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. Inbound Stevenson after a crash at Cicero, looking at an hour and 10 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays, 87th to 75th. The Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Then from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, it's on Reagan Tollway heavy. Eola to 59. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Increasing cloudiness today with a high 35, then a mostly cloudy night with a few flurries, low 25. Tomorrow, clouds and sun, high 34, and a partly cloudy night, low 28. Clouds and sun for Wednesday with a high of 36. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560 The Answer.
24 at O'Hare, 26 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping you powered up no matter what the conditions.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Let's talk about people with disabilities and how they're treated in this civilized society. Oh, by the way, in particular, by the Champagne Socialists, the sentimental barbarians you see roaming around Chicago, all the well-to-do areas. Canadian Down Syndrome Society has released a new commercial featuring children with Down syndrome. Take a listen.
You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like a polar bear.
Or a lion. Or a panda. Is it because I'm strong? Roar! Because I'm beautiful? Nope. It's because like some animals, people with Down syndrome, people like me, are endangered. That's why we're applying to be the first people on the endangered list. Jobs are scarce. And our community is shrinking. We have to fight.
For education.
We need support. Like all these animals do.
They make the world a more beautiful place.
And so do we. Sign our petition at endangeredsyndrome.com.
Children dressed up like animals to make a point. To make the point that there's an Endangered Species Act to protect endangered animals. People more concerned about a spotted owl than a human being. We've talked about this issue before. And, of course, people who are advocates for persons with disabilities like Down syndrome know this all too well. In the U.S., 67% of babies diagnosed with Down syndrome are aborted. In England, it's closer to 90%, Denmark, 98%, and, of course, the most ghastly story. From 2004 to 2013, fewer than 4 babies with Down syndrome were born each year in Iceland. The abortion rate there for babies with Down syndrome is 100%.
Wait, isn't it government mandated, though, if you have a baby with Down syndrome, you have to abort it?
Government.
They're in Iceland, or they just...
No. Not to my understanding. Not to my understanding.
That's just a chilling statistic.
It's also chilling those to watch those kids with Down syndrome, plea for a place in this world. And we've played testimony before congressional committees before on this show from individuals with Down syndrome asking the same thing. Is there no place for people with disabilities in this world? You think the answer is obvious? It doesn't seem so obvious these days, does it?
I'm watching this video right now, and it's so heartbreaking. But, they said we need support like all these animals do. They make the world a more beautiful place, and so do we.
Right. But you have to, it's the approach that they're taking to make a powerful moral point about how animals are treated as compared to human beings, and for them to have to compare themselves to animals says something about the barbarism that's afoot.
And at the end, when you hear the baby crying, the baby's dressed as Little Turtle.
How about this? Story in Chicago. Did you see this? Old Town Triangle neighborhood. 1800 block of North Lincoln Avenue. Homeowners Bill Deacon and Lisa Dielman bought a house that had previously been referred to by neighbors on the block as the Rat House because it was in disrepair. Built in 1891, building features mosaic windows, stained glass windows, woodwork by renowned craftsman, stained glass designer Edgar Miller. It's also in the Old Town Triangle Landmark District. They bought the home 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they embarked on a renovation project to convert the 4-flat, which is what it was, into a single-family home for themselves, for they and their kids.
Yeah. Good for them.
They knew they would have to make special considerations and adjustments for their teenage daughter who uses a wheelchair. Their teenage daughter, apparently suffers from a degenerative condition and increasingly struggles with mobility.
Oh, my gosh. We talked about this in church yesterday. It's part of the sermon.
We went through painstaking detail to make sure this house would work for her, said Bill Deacon, Dad, including a street-level garage for the home that would face out to North Lincoln Park West, a street that's lined with homes and buildings. And then came the Old Town Triangle Association.
Yep, there you go.
Charged with preserving the architectural and historical integrity of the neighborhood, including this property they called the Rat House. Okay. They opposed the renovation and the special accommodations being made for the girl who needs a wheelchair. Listen to this statement from Steve Weiss, president of the Old Town Triangle Association, in a letter he wrote to the alderman. I understand that the people who purchased the house have a child that requires special needs. What I don't understand is why they chose to buy a house in a landmark zone when you have these needs. I don't mean to be heartless or uncaring.
Oh, okay.
But this is not the neighborhood for that. Here you conform to the rules, not the other way around. This is not the neighborhood for a girl with a disability or a degenerative condition. Hey, not here. That's not in the rules.
As if they chose that she would have this condition. Well, they took this rat house and they regentrified it, and they need wheelchair accessibility.
By the way, Steve Weiss, this was a letter, okay? So this wasn't off the cuff. The command of the English language, or perhaps the Freudian slip, have a child that requires. No, who
requires.
And it's not, you don't require special needs, you possess special needs, you ignoramus. These are, dollars to donuts, these are the champagne socialists. These are the well-to-do champagne socialists that have everything figured out. This is the left that everybody in this city and state loves to fall in line with. Really? This is not the neighborhood for that. A daughter of a family who needs to use a wheelchair. Hey, not in this neighborhood, you don't.
No, it couldn't come at a better time. I mean, they were supposed to receive the building permit and move into their home on Christmas. But now they can't because of this Old Town Triangle Association and this man.
He continued.
Oh, gosh.
Steve Weiss, president of the Old Town Triangle Association. I can't give him enough profile, can I now? They should have put their child's needs first and moved to a neighborhood more conducive to her needs. These damn parents, these uncaring parents that bought this home and are renovating it to accommodate their daughter, they should have checked with Steve Weiss to get parenting tips on where it's okay for them and their daughter to live.
And the 13-year-old daughter, I mean, she told a reporter she doesn't want to be identified, but she said this has been an eye-opening experience.
Oh, I bet.
She's going to write a play based on her family's experience. She said, quote, I realize that my physical disability may present some challenges, but I never expected this kind of pushback from the community.
Well, you have to understand, little lady, neighborhood aesthetics are more important than your quality of life, at least to the left.
I mean,
Congratulations. Congratulations. Tell me again about our civilized society. All these wonderful people downtown that are so highly educated, that make a good living. We're supposed to understand they are our betters and follow their example, aren't we?
Gosh, and now the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency, who offered them permits, is acknowledging that they made an error in granting them. I mean, this house was a disgusting, this house should have been razed, and this family came in and regentrified that block.
I think
they just want one accommodation.
Well,
for a 13-year-old girl who's in a wheelchair.
Should we segregate children with disabilities? Have like their own space where they can live? I mean, I don't want to say internment camp, but I mean, this is, we've got to defer to Steve Weiss, the president of the Old Town Triangle Association, on where people with disabilities are allowed to live.
How do you spell his last name?
Weiss. And so I mean, should we corral all of the children with disabilities and their families if they'd like to come and create designated spaces where we, the Vanguard class, Steve Weiss, I'm not part of it, so deem they may live? How about we do that? Is that civilized? Is that another example of the compassion of the left? Neighborhood aesthetics trump the quality of life for a little girl with a degenerative medical condition that impacts her mobility. Okay. By the way, if you don't think this will metastasize and lead elsewhere, technology is a funny thing. And so are ethics, or the lack thereof. The prospect of creating intelligent designer babies is here. A new method of testing an embryo's genes could soon be available in some IVF clinics in the U.S., according to New Scientist magazine. The firm Genomic Prediction says it's developed a genetic screening test that can assess complex traits such as the risk of some diseases and low intelligence in IVF embryos. The tests haven't been used yet, but the firm began talks with several IVF clinics to provide them to customers. Master race time, huh? Ready for that? Brian in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy. I heard an interesting comment on NPR recently, so it must be the case, but I heard a couple of commentators talking that, in general, that the left, the Democrats, care more about groups of people and less about individuals, and it's just the opposite for conservatives. They care more about individuals and less about, groups of people. They don't think in that term. So
yeah,
it's an interesting, it's exactly the case here, right?
That's a good summary. Thanks for the call, Brian. I mean, I always say that the left is very cavalier with the lives and livelihoods of others, individuals. Unless you serve a political purpose, you're part of a group in which they want to form solidarity in real or usually perceived marginality to put together a governing coalition, to put together a 50% plus one electoral coalition so they can govern. Lord over is probably a more accurate description. But yeah, that's exactly right.
If I was this guy, I would step down as the president of the Old Town Triangle Association.
If I was that guy and if I was the parent of the daughter in question here, and if I was Steve Weiss, I would step gingerly around the neighborhood because I'd be looking for you. Ralph in Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. you'd hope almost that what he wrote was just accidental, but it just goes on and on. So it just sounds too ignorant and moronic. I'm wondering also in their area, are they petitioning the city to remove all of the curb ramps and get nice, tall, stiff, square blocks of concrete so that people who have a tougher time getting around will just be falling over and being toppled by the square that he likes to protect from people that maybe need a little extra help.
Whatever needs to be done in the interest of aesthetics, Ralph. Thanks for the call.
It's not appropriate to segregate where people with disabilities live. And he needs to get that through his thick, fat skull.
Do you realize how...
I mean, that's like saying if you're African-American, you can't live here, or if you're transgender, you can't live... I mean, what is he doing?
Do you realize how barbaric we have become as a city that you have to make that statement?
I mean, I don't mean to be heartless or uncaring, but this is not the neighborhood for that. That's what he wrote in that letter.
If you need a wheelchair, get the hell out of here. Understand. I go back to Chesterton. Understand implications. When you give in to unreason, you are ready for unkindness. This city, this state, and the sentimental barbarians that lord over it, and they're not just the ones in public office. They long ago gave in to unreason, and it requires unkindness. And so this is what you see. How do you like it? James in Westmont.
Well, first of all, I hope they did find Mr. Weiss anyway. What the dad went around this the wrong way. He should have told him, hey, I need to do this for my dog that's in a wheelchair. If it was his dog in a wheelchair, I'm sure they would have been over backwards to make sure that dog had what it needed. You know, so how dare he even bring his daughter into this? Oh, by the way, Chester Academy in Downers Grove, my son may be going there.
Very good.
Good.
But
that's
awesome.
so true.
Nice.
Like every
Well done,
hurricane,
James.
every
Thanks.
hurricane, you have displaced families and children. But the dog, look at the dog. Oh, rescue the dog, or get the cat out. You know what I mean?
Hey, somebody get that little girl in the wheelchair out of the way to save the dog.
This is a picture, by the way, of Steve Weiss. Does he look familiar? Doesn't he look familiar?
No.
Oh. God, he looks so familiar. I know him. I wonder if he works out at East Bank Club. I'll find it.
Okay, you're on the case. Paul in Lake Forest.
Hey, good morning. Great show. I love it when you guys talk about hypocrisy, and that's why I'm a Florida resident. And if I were this Mr. Weiss, next investment I would make is in a remote starter for my car. That's what I would do.
Okay, well, I
I'm
don't
going to
go
preface
that far.
my comment. I'm going to preface my comment by saying we had 56 million tourists in the city last year. If you clip them for 100 each, that's 5.6 billion. Okay. And then I read on the first page of the Trib today they want to do new high-speed trains as soon as we can get enough money for that to get back and forth to Rockford.
Yeah. Can't get to Rockford fast enough.
So over the
That's the
weekend, I
problem.
read that they needed to raise the rates on the underprivileged kids in Chicago for their summer camp, 115,000 of them, to raise $2.5 million. And I'm thinking to myself, Rahm Emanuel, on his way into one of his fundraisers, must raise $2.5 million in the parking lot alone, let alone the $10, $15 million he raises after they have dessert.
Yeah, but right, of course that's true, Paul. But the point is to remind the serfs that they're serfs. That's why we take it from them. Thanks for the call, Cindy and Joliet.
Hey, Dan. Good morning, Amy. You know, equality for all started with the 14th Amendment way, way back in the day, pushed through in the 60s with the Civil Rights Movement, and supported by the American with Disabilities Act. I've worked with special ed kids for almost 20 years, and they have a lot to teach people, and this is a lesson. And if the family was smart, they'd get a great lawyer, and they would own the block by June of 2019. And White would be living in a tent in California because he is totally off base, doesn't know. I mean, honest to God, that man probably has more money than common sense, and it disgusts me how people look at disabled individuals as disposable.
Thanks for
it's terrible.
Thanks for the call, Cindy. Appreciate it. More money than common sense. Boy, there's a lot of that around here.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois.
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies versus the Western Michigan Broncos this Tuesday night at 6. NIU football is on AM 560. The Answer.
Every business has 2 major goals, right? Bigger profits and lower operating costs. Well, while ComEd might not be able to help you directly grow your profits, they can help you lower your operating costs with instant discounts on energy-efficient LEDs. You'll save money right now, and you'll save again later on your energy bills. For instant discounts and other lighting solutions from the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, visit ComEd.com/lighting solutions. ComEd, powering lives.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of your #1 home mortgage company, Townstone Financial. You asked for it and we brought it back. We once again can offer a 1% down payment program and you only need a 620 credit score to qualify. That means you don't need a lot of money or perfect credit to buy a house. Restrictions apply. Second, do you want to purchase a home but have too much student loan debt? Then listen closely. We have a non-occupying co-borrow program that allows a parent or a friend to co-sign the mortgage with you, which lets us use their income to help you qualify for a home purchase. It doesn't matter if you're searching for a jumbo mortgage, FHA, VA, or even a reverse mortgage. I guarantee nobody's going to beat Townstone's interest rates and low closing costs, and I own the company. So give us a call now at 312-896-2110. Remember, nobody values your home purchase and refinance business more than Townstone. That's 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
AM 560. The Answer.
Still shaking my head.
Don't you
over
love
this.
it?
I mean, honestly.
I don't. Property taxes, destroying home value, no. Crime, no.
Homicide rate, yeah.
An accommodation for a teenage girl in a wheelchair. That's it. That's where I draw the line.
Well, it's not only Steve Weiss, but another resident, Diane Gonzalez, said it's a wonderful neighborhood and we do not want it destroyed.
You know what? It's not a wonderful neighborhood
It's
as long
not.
as those people are living there.
There you go. You don't have good neighbors, you don't have anything. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Campus Beat will introduce you to a school your young one can attend so that mom and dad don't go into Hawk for post-secondary education. That's at 7:37, excuse me.
And later, Kanye West donates another 6 figures to a Chicago family. We'll tell you who and we'll tell you why. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Clouds and sun, 24 degrees. Officials with CAL FIRE believe the campfire will not be fully contained until at least November 30. Jeremy Bataza is one of the many campfire evacuees.
We have nothing left. We have nowhere to go. No one knows what to do. We're all living minute by minute out here.
As of Sunday, the fire had claimed 77 lives. Rain is predicted to arrive in Northern California by Thanksgiving. Fox News' Chris Wallace says President Trump's attacks on the news media have made him appear around the world as a beacon for repression.
I'm calling the fake news is the enemy. It's fake. It's phony.
But
They'll
a lot
take
of times,
something
sir, it's
good.
just news you don't
No,
like.
it's not. No. I don't mind getting bad news if I'm wrong.
Trump saying he cannot speak for other people and he's only criticizing media coverage he believes is unfair. Florida Senator Bill Nelson conceding to Republican Governor Rick Scott in that state's critical Senate race.
Well, things worked out a little differently than Grace and I had hoped, but let me say I by no measure feel defeated.
Ron DeSantis will face no more obstacles in his path to the Florida governor's mansion. Democrat opponent Andrew Gillum conceded defeat. Meantime, the supervisor of elections in Broward County, Florida, is stepping down after criticism of how the recent recount there was handled. Current student at Oak Lawn Community High School arrested Sunday evening after allegedly posting a threat on social media to shoot up the school. OLCHS officials sending out several messages informing parents the threat was made on the social media platform Snapchat. Oak Lawn police are on campus this morning. Administrators say the incident did not warrant closing school today. Candidates running for mayor of Chicago will begin submitting their nominating petitions today. Candidates need a minimum of 12,500 signatures. Bears increased their lead in the NFC North with a 25-20 win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1. The news is a service of Amazon. Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at amazon.com/ChicagoJobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I have a bad sciatic nerve, and ever since I started taking it, it has not flared up or acted up.
About 4 years ago, I got a virus, pretty severe virus, and it triggered something called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's just a nervous system disorder, and it's been a struggle the past 4 years. And after about 4 or 5 months of doing this, my dad said, listen, you need to try this. And I finally said, okay. So I've already noticed more energy and more clarity, and because I've had brain fog with this really bad, and it has helped with that, I've already noticed.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough, but did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
7:37 and a check on your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Northbound tri-state traffic is stop and go 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, except from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. It's on Reagan Tollway, it's heavy. 25 to Eola, Veterans Memorial northbound, side Butterfield to Roosevelt. Edens is 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. Kennedy, 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 20 in the Express, outbound 30 to the airport. Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 39 from Manheim, outbound 56 to 390 after a crash at St. Charles. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 for Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, siding to the merge, Bishop 435, southbound Lakeshore Drive, at Belmont to North Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Chilly with clouds on the increase this morning, high 35 later today. Heading toward a cloudy and cold night with a few flurries and a low of 25. Currently 24. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Oh, Justin's mad I sang over him. Sorry.
Yeah. You're the Jane Weedland to his Belinda Carlisle.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know you're used to in our Campus Beat segment that us covering stories like Clemson's Create Your Own Gender Seminar.
Oh, that sounds fun. Do I have to write a 5-page essay?
Mr. Potato Head time at Clemson. I mean, it's
Put
just
together your gender.
absurd. Oh, my goodness. But we try to give you things that add value, not just levity to your life. Lambda School. Revolutionary School invests in you. 30-week immersive program that gives you the tools and training you need to launch your new career from the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
Trains people online to be software engineers at no upfront cost. It's income share agreements, like actually are being done at some universities, most notably Purdue.
Purdue, yeah, they do that.
Instead of paying tuition, students agree to pay a percentage of their income after they are employed, and only if they're making more than $50,000 per year. Here's a Lambda marketing pitch.
So you want to be a web developer? Check this. Go to lambdaschool.com. Sign up. Pay nothing up front. That's right, nothing. Classes begin. Start coding. Attend live lectures. Learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Get stuck. Break your keyboard. Buy a new keyboard. Find the answer. Keep going. Sleep. Wake up. Go to campus. Yeah, right. We're online. Code even more. Learn React. Learn Redux. Zoom conference. Share your code. Slack your instructors. Ask questions. Get some help. Master C. Master Python. Master Django. Take a break.
Lovely.
Okay, break's over. Hack some more. Learn data structures. Learn algorithms. Learn operating systems. Career prep. Write a resume. Assemble your portfolio. Land the perfect job. Get paid the big bucks. Oh, yeah. And then you pay Lambda. What are you waiting for?
What do you think? Your kids can learn the classics, read the classics at the instruction of mom and dad, or go audit University of Chicago Great Books class. But the Lambda School and others like it, you can supplement it with Khan Academy, TED Talks, etc. But the Lambda School, coding, right, which is...
They were speaking French to me.
Well, no, I'm
with all that,
largely
like
me too.
All that blah, blah, blah. That's what I heard.
But I mean, there's 1871 Media, 1871, the Tech Incubator here in Chicago. They do coding classes and try and set people up with internships as well. Do this from home, a skill that is actually in demand, actually marketable in this 21st century digital world in which we live, and the way they do it. If students choose to pay nothing up front, payment comes later, but only once they have a job earning more than $50,000. Then they pay 17% of their income for 2 years, up to a maximum of $30,000.
Okay.
Or, so these income share agreements, and it's all predicated on connecting input to output, the quality of instruction you receive, and your seriousness at internalizing these skills, and then your ability to get a job applying these skills in the real world. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You want to avoid spending, 60 grand, 70 grand to send Peyton and Eli to each to Iowa? Huh? No way.
I'm going to introduce
Lambda
you
school.
to Lambda. Lambda.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting approach, and there's more of these coming online. And even when it comes to the humanities, you have Heterodox Academy, which is Jonathan Haidt's brainchild, bunch of academics that are providing their own coursework, Jordan Peterson, others providing their own kind of instruction, coursework, reading list, materials, all of this stuff that can be done on the cheap, as opposed to paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $70,000 a year so your kid can have the campus experience. I mean, you can go to campus parties without having the campus experience if you live close to a college.
But you want them to learn how to be on their own, do their own laundry.
Yeah.
Get up for school on time.
Have them go make 50 grand as a coder and get their own place.
That would be awesome.
Then they're learning a lot faster than kids in college about being on your own, making money, paying bills.
Right. Well, and actually, in their defense, Peyton and Eli, I mean, since I'm not there in the mornings, they get themselves up. They walk to school. They get their breakfast. They brush, they do what kids in college
You call an Uber for him.
Well, I called an Uber for Peyton because he made the JV basketball team as a freshman, and they have early practice at 6 a.m. So since I want him to stay at home, live with me, I'm going to Uber him there.
Why doesn't he have his own phone?
Pardon?
Does he have his own phone, or do you restrict it?
No, I have his own phone, but I can get on and see what he's doing on his phone.
Oh.
But don't tell him that. That's
so
a secret.
So he can't be Ubering all over the place.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, that makes
but he
sense.
does. He's got a venture card. He takes the CTA every day. He takes the Brown line, then he takes a bus to get to school. But that early in the morning, I thought, I'll treat him. I've got $6 in my pocket I could throw his way to get him there.
Well, I mean, these innovations are so fascinating to me because we have this real dichotomy afoot. This big choice we have to make and will be made in the coming years by our political class, which is, are we going to go the Bernie Sanders, Ocasio-Cortez route, free education by taxing the rich, and by taxing the rich we mean everybody. Like the rich is, like the graduated income tax here, 24 grand and up. The money is always with middle income families. So I don't know why people buy into this class envy demagoguery of the left. They're coming for you. There are not enough millionaires and billionaires. That's a throwaway line, my friend. But there's that approach. And then there's the Khan Academy approach, creating worldwide free education via donations from the rich. And you want to compare and contrast the quality these days? I mean, all the stories that we've talked about. You want to pay, I don't know what it is out of state going to Clemson. Let's say it's 40 grand. 40 grand to send your kid to Clemson so he can go to create your own gender workshops? I mean, what the or seed his, even do an income share with your kid with respect to something like the Lambda School program to learn to code. Just saying. I mean, this is crazy. I mean,
there's other options that are out there than when you and I were back in college.
Well, right. And they're just focused, right? They're just focused on delivering something, inputs connected to outputs. We're actually going to deliver something. We're actually going to put you in the position you want to be in, as opposed to, you come to a university as this skull full of mush, to borrow a Limbaughism. And, we're there to indoctrinate you with cultural Marxism. Because, think about what's going on on college campuses is squashing freedom of speech. Going on, even in K through 12, removing the classics from the reading list. To Kill a Mockingbird. Yanked. Create your own gender. This story too. This is what Woodchurch High School. Kids can be cruel. This is in England, Birkenhead, and so one of the ways the school is going to deal with the disparate household incomes from which these children come is to ban expensive coats from being worn.
That Canada Goose coat, those are very, very expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars.
Okay.
I wish I had one. I tried one once. It didn't fit well. But yeah, because it's called poverty shaming, and they're trying to avoid that.
You can't bring Canadian Goose or Montclair coats after the Christmas break. This is what's happening in the government-run school systems, and it's not just in England, as you know. We've done enough stories. And what's happening out in the dynamic world of the education entrepreneur, something very different, isn't it?
Well, I don't know why we're sheltering our kids so much. I mean, why we shield them from every inadequacy, every heartache. So what? Jimmy's dad makes more than my dad did, and he's got nicer stuff. That's the way it is. It's not poverty shaming. It's just called life. Some people have more money, and that's what you sit down and talk to you. You know, if you want that coat, then you can have a side job. You can work to try and earn enough money to get that coat. I mean, this is this sheltering of our kids. I don't understand it.
Well, also, the sort of reflexive benefit of the doubt that is given to K through 12, K through post-secondary even, systems and institutions that have proven they should not enjoy the benefit of the doubt. We continue, so many people continue to send their kids into these mills when you know they're not being prepared for the other side at exorbitant prices. Why? I know it's just difficult for people to make a change, or they're so bombarded with a narrative from the cultural Marxists and the DC Press Corps and the other elitists who have a vested interest in protecting the elite institutions in their current formation and their positions in those elite institutions. You know, connect some dots, people. But I mean, for example, preschool, you know, this emphasis on pre-K. Good randomized control studies have shown again and again, and not just with respect to Head Start, that preschools do not improve test scores in a lasting way. Sometimes test scores go up a little bit, but the effects disappear after a year or two of regular schooling. And so the hyper focus on pre-K, universal pre-K, free college education. It's all about propping up the same way of doing things. And it's not working for a wide swath of the children who attend, not working for our country as a whole as a result. And it's not even the point. The systems are set up for the elites to remain elites at your kids' expense. So, to borrow a Pragerism, think a second time about education in this country and the path you want to put your child on.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me, I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Songs have been written about it. Wars have been fought over it. And just holding it in the palm of your hands is magnificent. Silver and gold have been bartered, bought, and sold for centuries. And now is the time for you to invest in one of the most recognized financial assets and ensure your portfolio is guarded against inflation and a declining dollar. For such an exclusive opportunity and investment, put your trust in Kedzie Coins. Kedzie Coins is an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago. And as members of the Professional Numismatics Guild, they are committed to the strictest standards of excellence and ethics. With one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., Kedzie Coins is your destination to buy American. Visit one of their 3 locations, Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or the flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Bradley, just north of Kankakee. For questions or to set up an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
The school year started just a short time ago, but it's not too late for your son or daughter to get the outstanding education and preparation for life that St. John's Northwestern Military Academy offers with their ongoing enrollment program. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. And there's still time to enroll your son or daughter for this school year. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, so we have a tearful apology from that man who ruined the Fiddler on the Roof performance. Remember at intermission?
In Baltimore,
In
yeah.
Baltimore, he yelled out, "Heil Hitler, Heil Trump," and people thought there was going to be a mass shooting. People were climbing over other people to try and get out because they weren't sure what was going on.
And Chris Hayes over at MSNBC presumed, of course, this was some kind of white supremacist Trump supporter. Turned out not to be the case.
Yeah, he's not a Trump supporter at all. He can't stand President Trump. And he said it came out wrong, Dan.
I just wish everybody knew I am sincerely sorry. I am so embarrassed and ashamed and disgusted with myself. I didn't think at the time it was my frustrations with President Trump, and I was trying to compare Trump to Hitler because he plays into the fears of the people, and it just came out wrong.
It just came out wrong.
Wait, you're thinking about President Trump while you're watching Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah.
Pay attention to Tevye.
Right. He
I mean,
well, he had a few pops. I mean, he had a
listen
few
to
drinks.
If I Was a Rich Man.
La, na, 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 na,
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about how to express my displeasure with Trump.
So he wasn't arrested, although, people obviously, they called 911. People got out their cell phones. They thought this is it. He was removed from the theater and banned from that theater for life.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Okay, and when this reporter from Baltimore's Channel 11 caught up with him outside his house, he agreed to talk, obviously, because we just played a soundbite, but she didn't show his face, but she did show an exterior of his house. But regardless, he tearfully apologized.
Because I opened my mouth, and it was so wrong. I know that now. In the moment, I just was my frustration, and I don't know what I was thinking. And I'm so ashamed. My heart goes out to all those that I ruined their night, to everybody that was affected by my stupidity.
DeLunas said he's reached out to the Jewish community.
Right, after-school special material.
And has spoken with leaders as he tries to make amends. The Baltimore police are investigating the incident as a hate-based case.
Well, okay. I mean, I will say this. There's some hope for this guy. At least he has the ability to feel shame.
Yes.
Which is more than you could say about most of these champagne socialists. So there's actually hope for that guy.
Yes. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our conversation of the midterm results that were resolved over the weekend with Sean Davis from the Federalist at 8:08.
And Mia Love pulls ahead in her congressional race. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Former Blackhawk coach tailgating with Bears fans as the Bears held off the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Simeon football parents accused an IHSA football official of cheating, and a missing Lions man found stabbed to death. WIND, Chicago News Time 8.
Where are they? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the question in wildfire-scorched Northern California, where nearly 1,000 people remain unaccounted for. Search crews keep looking, but rain is in the forecast.
When you're talking about properties that have been burned to tiny pieces of ash, finding human remains is difficult enough. If the rains come in and wash a lot of those ashes away, it will become even more difficult.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in Malibu to the south. The fires in both places blamed for 80 deaths. Florida's Senate race is finally over. After 2 recounts, Governor Rick Scott declared the winner.
I'm a business guy. I'm going to bring a outsider perspective like I did to Tallahassee.
The Republican unseated Democrat Bill Nelson. President Trump visited wildfire victims over the weekend.
I hate to do it, but I will do it. I would give myself an A+.
He told Fox News Sunday he's doing a great job on the economy and more. He was also pressed on the special counsel's Russia probe and his new acting attorney general. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
During an interview with Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday, President Trump said that he has already answered questions submitted to him by special counsel Robert Mueller.
I got the questions. I responded. We wrote them out. I read them once. I read them a second time. We made some changes. That's it. They're very simple. You know why? I did nothing wrong.
On acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, President Trump said he did not know he took views on the Mueller investigation, adding that those views did not have any effect on his appointment. Dave?
John, some in Congress want a bill to protect the special counsel. House Democrat Adam Schiff not only wants Whitaker to recuse himself from Mueller oversight, he thinks he was unconstitutionally appointed, telling ABC's This Week.
He auditioned for the part by going on TV and saying he could hobble the investigation.
Now, in a tweet, President Trump spelled Schiff's name with T's instead of F's to make it sound like a bad word. Schiff replied, "Wow, Mr. President, that's a good one. Did you write this one yourself?" This is Fox News.
Skies are gray. We have 25 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. There will be school at Oaklawn Community High School today after a current student, was arrested late last night after allegedly posting a threat on social media to shoot up that school. School administrators sent out several messages informing parents of the threat reportedly made on the social media platform Snapchat. Administrators and Oaklawn police say the incident does not warrant a school closing today. Oaklawn police are on campus. Parents of football players at Simeon High in Chicago are accusing an IHSA official of cheating. A lawsuit filed Friday against the IHSA claims Richard Mercado influenced officials during the state playoff game between Simeon and Nazareth Academy November 10th. Now, Mercado is a parent of a player on the Nazareth Academy team, which won that game 34-27. Less than 2 weeks after the fall election, candidates in 4 DuPage County towns that are eligible for primaries will have to file nominating petitions for spots on the April 2nd spring ballot. Candidates in Aurora, Downers Grove, Naperville, and Wheaton will be seeking city council and in some cases mayoral seats. In Naperville, Mayor Steve Chirico's first term as mayor is expiring. He plans to run for re-election. In Wheaton, Mayor Michael Gresk and 2 at-large council members have terms that expire in May. Gresk, first elected in 2007, is stepping down after 3 terms. And in Downers Grove, Martin Tully is stepping down after 8 years as mayor because that village has term limits. Former Blackhawk coach Joe Quenneville still enjoying the Chicago sports scene. After being fired by the Hawks earlier this month, Quenneville was spotted tailgating at yesterday's Soldier Field parking lot gathering before the Bears' victory over the Vikings, 25-20 on Sunday Night Football. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the United Center. Bulls back at it Wednesday against the Suns. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, a veteran auto executive is out, and reports in Japan say he has been arrested. Nissan is removing its longtime chairman, Carlos Ghosn, saying he was unreporting his income. Another company executive, Greg Kelly, is also said to be deeply involved in misconduct that includes personal use of company assets. Nissan says it has been providing information to the Japanese Public Prosecutor's Office and will continue to do so. Ghosn has been a respected leader in the auto industry. He was credited with leading Nissan to a dramatic turnaround over the past 2 decades. He also heads Renault in France. There's a merger in the oil and gas business. Resolute Energy is being sold to Cimarex Energy for $1.6 billion. The Dow added 123 on Friday. NASDAQ dropped 11. The S&P added 6. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Casola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Born and raised in Chicagoland, my partners and I knew this city needed a locally owned business bank. As fellow entrepreneurs, we know the challenges facing businesses, and we are invested in our customers' success. We are here to build mutually beneficial, long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We look forward to helping our customers reach their goals every day, and we are here to see them succeed. At Signature Bank, you work directly with decision makers who understand your business and can deliver on their promises.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, Just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
It's 8:08. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy delays start at Foster. It's 35 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound, it's 40 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound, delays out to Niles Center. It's 26 minutes to Lake Cook. Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown. 48 minutes from Manheim. Outbound, 42 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound, 40 minutes. Ryan is 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State stop and go 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis. From the Reaganville at Lawrence. Reaganville knotted up from Mill to Yackley with a crash on the left side. Southbound Veterans Memorial, below North Avenue to 22nd. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, chilly with increasing clouds, high 35. Mostly cloudy and cold tonight with a few flurries, low 25. Clouds and sun for tomorrow, another cold day with a high 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
25 at O'Hare, 26 along the lakefront. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Ready to add this statement to the old End of Western Civilization folder? Newsweek. The Donald Trump sex scandal has, quote unquote, completely destroyed Stormy Daniels' writing and directing career.
Oh, no.
The adult film actress told members of the Oxford Union Debating Society Thursday evening.
What society?
Oxford Union, which
Okay.
is like one of the oldest, most revered debating societies in the Western world. It's about 200 years old. Stormy Daniels was there talking about her career and the impact that the scandal she initiated has had on her writing and directing in the area of pornography. The event titled Sex, Guns, and Other Fluff, How Porn Can Set You Free at the
Did you say
Oxford
fluff?
Union Debating Society.
Excuse me, did you say fluff as in fluffer?
I'm reading you the title of the
Okay,
event.
thank you.
Okay, so there you go. I just thought I should apprise you that things are coming to an end.
Yeah, and also coming to an end, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's the good news.
Well, Jim Acosta, he was celebrated on Friday because a judge said that they had to give back his hard pass to the White House. And he took a victory lap, folks, when he was walking toward the press room, and he was flanked by cameras from all over the world. And he went up to the reporters and said, well, you know, I'm here. Any questions?
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Appreciate it. Well, you guys want to ask a question, or I could just tell you,
Tell us what happened, Jim. Don't leave out any
I
details.
just want to say that I'm very grateful for what happened today, and grateful for my colleagues in the press who stood by us through all of this. This was a test, and I think we passed the test. And at this point, honestly, guys, this is just any other day here at the
any
White
other
House
day.
for me.
Any other day.
I would like to get back to work, and so should you. So go back to work.
You.
And we'll keep on doing our job.
That guy.
Well, this
Don't
morning.
call me a hero, said Jim Acosta.
You're my boy, Blue.
Well, this morning, the White House has told CNN that after this temporary restraining order, which will expire in 14 days, they've sent a letter stating that his pass is set to be suspended again once the restraining order expires.
Oh, yeah. There was the matter of the actual ruling that got lost in all of the encomiums for Jim Acosta, which is it's a TRO. And so if the White House wants to continue to litigate it, they can.
So from the looks of the letter, the White House is trying to establish a paper trail that will empower the administration to boot Acosta again at the end of the month.
Let's keep it going. Yeah, baby.
This might not be over yet.
Oh, it's not going to be over. It was not over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and it's not over with this TRO. And this is precisely what the White House wants. Litigate it, and then when Acosta is ultimately freed from the chains that bind him, courtesy of the Trump administration, they'll go right back at it in the press briefings with Sanders and Trump. You could not pick a better foil.
And he, listen was he's walking because he kept stop. I don't know if you watched it in its entirety. It's 4 minutes and 35 seconds, airing live on C-SPAN and C-SPAN 2. But he, kept toying with the media, like, hey, any questions? And he'd walk away and he'd talk about, what advice he'd have for other journalists. And then, it's, guys, we got to get back to work.
But honestly, guys, my job here is to cover the guy in there.
Yeah.
So
propaganda's not going to write itself.
These questions, but at this point, I just want to say I'm grateful, and I want to say it again. I'm really grateful to all of my colleagues in the press.
I love you.
Who stood by us in this hour. This was a moment that to me. It just felt like a test for all of us.
Greatest champion for human liberty, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Nelson Mandela, Jim Acosta. Which one? 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. Greatest American, I think American champion of human dignity and liberty. Abraham Lincoln, Harriet Tubman, Jim Acosta. I mean, where does he rank? I know he's, in the discussion. I just need help understanding where he ranks.
Well, we did have Bret Baier on Friday, and Bret Baier would seem to support Jim Acosta getting his press pass back. Not seem to support it. He did support it because he said it'd be a bad precedent to set that if they do that to Jim, they could do it to other media outlets.
Yeah,
but nobody touched the White House intern like he
but he's
did.
not defending Acosta's antics or Acosta's, grandstanding as a matter of course in his everyday propagandizing. So yes, the underlying issue, yes, that's right. That's what Fox supported, or how Fox supported Acosta and CNN in this matter. And so what? I mean, this is all, as we said last week when this occurred. This is a weak legal hand for Trump and a strong political hand. So you play the weak legal hand to accentuate the strong political hand. So I mean, you want Acosta to talk more and have more coverage, like he did over the weekend with a press, the sort of Batman press conference. And don't call me a hero, Jim Acosta. I mean, you think people don't see that? You don't think people don't get what's happening here?
Oh, I get what's happening.
And find Jim Acosta much less compelling, along with his press corps lackeys, D.C. press corps lackeys, even those that are envious of him. You think they find that compelling over what the President of the United States is going to do or not do? Nicole in Bourbonnais, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I just wanted to add, we got Acosta, we got April Ryan, and now apparently we have Chris Wallace. I'm going to hang up and let you handle the rest of it.
Okay, thanks
what
for
did
the
Chris
call,
Wallace-
Nicole.
Chris Wallace?
Well, I mean,
I know he sat down with Trump on yesterday. Or...
Yeah, an extended interview for Fox News Sunday. But, I mean, I don't know. Wallace pressed him on some things like Wallace's want to do, but I didn't find Wallace like, I mean, he's not Jim Acosta.
No.
He's not April Ryan. It's not like, every word out of his mouth is, or every question is some sort of veiled, why are you a racist? Why are you a misogynist? Why are you one of the ists or suffering from one of the phobias that the left likes to impose on others? We'll get to more of what Wallace extracted from Trump. Though there was a lot of legitimate questions and instructive information from Trump on the Mueller investigation, on potential cabinet shakeup and the like. Marty in Naperville.
Just a question. When's Acosta's book coming out?
Right after, yeah,
and
right.
It can be called "I'm Covering the White House from Acosta Street."
Thanks, Marty.
What would his book be called? It'd be one chapter, probably all in capital letters.
A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Jim Acosta's book.
Survivor.
Hero.
White House Hero. No.
White.
Press. Something with the press. Let me think about that.
I challenge you, Mr. President.
Don't touch my mic.
I mean, he wouldn't be felled by an intern, White House intern. Frank in Villa Park.
Yeah, I'm on the way to the optometrist right now to get my eyes checked. I think I'm the only one in the world that actually saw Jim Acosta physically touch that intern.
I saw it.
How come nobody ever talks about that?
We did. I mean,
Yeah.
I brought up, I've been saying all along that
Thanks,
he,
Frank.
he touched her. She tried to get the mic back, and he pushed, you can see him, he's pushing her forearm away like that.
I got the
Visual.
Acosta book title.
Oh, what is it?
You can have my microphone when you pry it from my cold, dead hand.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
This is Michael Medved. I'm here with Mike Stahl from Health Markets, helping folks find the right Medicare coverage. The news reports say that the rates might be going down.
The government projects the cost of Medicare plans will decrease this year. So you have to ask yourself, are you getting the best rate? Health Markets offers a free service with access to thousands of Medicare plans nationwide to help folks maximize their benefits and save money.
What is it people need to keep in mind?
Enrollment in the right plan is not automatic. With so many Medicare options, it can be confusing. My advice, don't go it alone. Get unbiased help to find a plan that may cost less and cover more with lower co-payments, more choices like dental and vision, and the freedom to choose your doctors. With the enrollment deadline only weeks away, it's important to act now. Our Health Markets Medicare assistance is free.
Thanks, Mike. This is Michael Medved for Health Markets.
For your free Medicare assistance, call 800-741-5592. That's 800-741-5592. 800-741-5592.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had my yearly physical and all my tests and everything, and they were wonderful. In fact, my doctor said everything came back and it's fantastic. So, and my blood pressure was down 20 points. So, yeah, it was kind of high, but now it's okay.
So I think that that balance of nature is a big deal for me, and I feel good. You know, I generally feel not up like crazy, but I feel happy. All the nutrition, all the nutrients that I needed or need, I'm getting. I feel good that way.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hello, I'm Lou Bridges. The 2008 housing crisis hit everybody hard, and it's not over yet. In the wake of the crisis, the government passed legislation and created a special federal agency just for the purpose of protecting consumers. If you're facing foreclosure or have been subject to unfair, harassing creditor behavior, there are laws to protect you. But you have to know those laws in order to use them and get the relief you need. Whether you're facing foreclosure, about to lose your home to a big bank or mortgage loan servicer, or if you were injured in an accident and need help in getting what you deserve from an insurance company, call our offices today. The big banks, mortgage loan servicers, and insurance companies have teams of aggressive lawyers fighting for them. And if you need help with dealing with a big bank, mortgage loan servicer, or an insurance company, you need someone fighting for you. I've been representing people in Illinois for almost 40 years in these fields. Call my office today for a free consultation. Call us at 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231. 224-513-1231. Lou Bridges and Associates, lawyers for people.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we're having this debate. Maybe Oxford Union will pick it up after their series of porn stars discussing their careers is completed. William Wilberforce, Frederick Douglass, Jim Acosta. Who has done more for individual freedom and human dignity in the Western world? It's an important discussion. I mean, you know, obviously Frederick Douglass, Wilberforce, not our contemporaries. Jim Acosta, a contemporary. We're living with a seminal figure in the history of Western civilization, and it shouldn't go unremarked upon. Larry and Carol Stream, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I'm just wondering if I missed the latest chapter in the Bible of the Left. Aren't all of us older white males supposed to be ignored, abused, beaten up, sent to re-education camps? If so, why is not Mr. Acosta part of that group?
Well, Jim Acosta, thank you. Isn't he Latino?
Yeah, he is.
Well, there you go.
Latino.
Easy answer. Ken and Skokie. Hey, Ken.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
I think that anybody that really wants to get a good idea of what our freedom of speech is all about, they should pick up something by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and I would suggest the Gulag Archipelago.
Yeah, me too.
And give yourself an idea of what rights that we have and how we're abusing them. And people like Acosta, they have the right to speak up. He has the right to speak up, but he abuses that right by being a bully. And I think that if you read, and it's nice to hear somebody else that reads Alexander, but if you pick up that book and read it, you'll understand just how lucky we are in this country.
Thanks for the call, Ken. Tim in Woodstock.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah, I appreciate that last caller. I'm
currently listening to Google Archipelago on my phone, just as I work. Fortunately, I have a job where I can sometimes listen to things, and that's another way to. But that's a essential reading. But Jim Acosta, I think, is really, in my mind, he's a journalistic version of Antifa. He uses tactics to disrupt, to create a sense of chaos. And I think it's a page right out of the Saul Alinsky handbook, where the cultural Marxists have invaded every institution in the country, and Jim Acosta is one of them. And I think down the road he'll probably sue Donald Trump for disrupting his career, like the lady who walked around with a false head cut off of Donald Trump and then later whined that it hurt her career. I think we can expect that down the road from Jim.
Thanks for the call, Tim. Amy, you were a colleague of Jim Acosta's, weren't you, Amy?
Well, he worked at WBBM. He was out in the field with me a few times. He was very nice and pleasant, and he did not have a look at me. He did not insert himself into stories back then. But I know he's going through some life changes right now. He's getting divorced. And
sometimes times make the men.
Yeah.
And so his heroism was inert when he was in the field with you, but now it has come to the fore.
Wow. Very well.
Thank you so much.
You just put me in my happy place.
Ed in LaGrange, remembering Jim Acosta.
That's really good. I haven't had a chance yet to read the decision, but I'm thinking that the White House credentials must be similar, to make an analogy easy for everybody, to a driver's license. You don't have a constitutional right to a driver's license or a White House credential. But once it's been issued, it can't be taken away from you by the government without some kind of due process. And I think that's what the judge and the TRO is saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Trump can still take it away, but Acosta is entitled to a due process hearing as to whether or not it should be taken away.
Right, and the
You
standard.
read it, okay?
Yeah, and that's correct. And that the standard is, as I understand it, is you pose an imminent threat or a source of harm for the president or the first family. So that's unlikely. That's why I say he's got a weak legal case, but a strong political one. But no, you're right in terms of what the basis for the judge's TRO was a due process basis. That's right.
Yeah, so I agree with you. For the Trump administration to move forward with it, I think it would be counterproductive. I think they're better off just basically freezing Acosta out. But then again, as you said earlier, Trump does enjoy the give and take with Acosta. That raises a lot of people enjoy that when he takes them on. So.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I mean, I would give him his press pass back at least in time for him to accept his Nobel Peace Prize when that is conferred.
Please.
So when that's conferred, I think he should have he doesn't have to have it right now, but so they can litigate it for a while. But when the Nobel Committee gets around to designating him a Peace Prize recipient, then I think he should have his press pass with him at that for the ceremony.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Pick up our discussion on this topic and other legal matters with F.H. Buckley, law professor at George Mason University's Scalia School of Law. And oh, by the way,
yes,
Trump had a real zinger for Mrs. Scalia at the Medal of Freedom Awards distribution ceremony. We'll have that at 8:38.
But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Gray skies and some snow on the way for the evening. Nearly 1,000 people are still listed as missing as a result of the Northern California Camp Fire. Crews continue to fight the 150,000-acre blaze. Almost 15,000 structures have been destroyed. 77 have lost their lives. The National Weather Service says that area of Northern California where the Camp Fire continues to burn may see up to 4 inches of rain from Tuesday night through Friday. President Trump says he's doing an outstanding job as president, giving himself on Fox News Sunday an A-plus rating. Meantime, Republican Iowa Senator Joni Ernst is defending Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen.
She has done a good job. I think the president is just very frustrated, of course, with what we see at the border.
The Iowa Republican on CBS saying she thinks Nielsen can be tougher on the border, and it's up to Congress to take the next steps, dealing with a large number of immigrants that try to get over the border illegally. In Florida, Ron DeSantis will face no more obstacles in his path to the Florida governor's mansion. The Democratic opponent in that race, Andrew Gillum, concedes defeat after a machine recount actually showed the Republican nominee with a growing lead of more than 30,000 votes. A current student at Oak Lawn Community High School was arrested late Sunday evening for allegedly posting a threat on social media to bring a gun to the school and shoot. Several messages went out informing parents of the threat. Administrators and Oak Lawn police say the incident does not warrant closing school today. Candidates running for mayor of Chicago will begin submitting their nominating petitions today. Those petitions need a minimum of 12,500 signatures. Investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire at a bowling alley in Zion. Authorities say the blaze began yesterday inside Pinster's Bowl. Fire caused extensive damage. No injuries were reported. Bears increased their lead in the NFC North with a Sunday night football win over the Vikings, 25-20. They have a short turnaround. They take on the Lions Thanksgiving Day. Blackhawks beat the Wild 3-1 at the UC. The news is a service of Amazon. Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at amazon.com/ChicagoJobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says the angry mob has nothing to be angry about.
They won. The angry mob of the left won. So it's hard to have an angry mob anymore. The anger has dissipated somewhat. This is also something that will be interesting to witness.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
Tomorrow night.
What are you fighting for?
Gotta do what my father couldn't.
The movie event, 40 years in the making.
Drago's kid. It's dangerous.
Arrives.
You got people that need you now.
Creed 2 will make the whole family stand up and cheer. Michael B. Jordan.
We gotta do this together because we're a team.
Sylvester Stallone.
Now you know what you're fighting for.
What's your name?
Creed 2, rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. Tomorrow night.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane. Ground Game is a weekly political conversation with AP reporters and guests. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It's 8:36. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
Metro reports delays on the Union Pacific West line due to signal problems near Holstead. Kennedy, delays starting at Irving Park, runs 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose, 35 on the Express, outbound 35 to the airport. Edens is 19 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 30. Eisenhower, it's an hour, 390 to downtown. 43 minutes from Manheim, outbound 54 minutes to 390 after a crash near Irving Park. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Bryant, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays Plainfield Road to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Eastbound Reagan Tollway heavy Raymond to Yackley. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd, much of the way to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Chilly day ahead, mostly cloudy skies. High 35, currently 25 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Just still thinking about the importance of Jim Acosta in the modern context. I mean, you know, he's sort of the Nathan Hale, Patrick Henry of our time. He regrets that he has but one press pass to give for his country. Give him his press pass or give him death. Jim Acosta.
Oh, yeah. And they wanted to know,
Can't say enough about Jim Acosta.
what do you have? What advice do you have for aspiring journalists?
The only advice I would give to future journalists is to, do your jobs. Try to, day in and day out, when you do your job, do what's right, follow the truth.
So powerful.
And that's always worked for me. And I try to do that, every day that I come here to the White House.
Jim Acosta, great American, future Nobel Peace Prize recipient.
Oh, my gosh. Will you stop
we
saying
honor
that?
you.
Because that will happen if you say that. Do you understand?
I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. All right, switching gears, some of the people Jim Acosta covers in places like Florida, or from places like Florida and Georgia. At least one of them is on his way to D.C. He's Senator-elect Rick Scott from Florida. Bill Nelson conceding over the weekend, as did Andrew Gillum concede the governor's race, and Stacey Abrams in Georgia didn't really concede, but we're going to go ahead and move on, and Brian Kemp's the governor.
Well, Stacey Abrams says democracy failed in Georgia, and she believes that there was deliberate interference in the election. She had one interview over the weekend. It was with Jake Tapper, and it was not really a concession speech. She's very defiant.
I believe it began 8 years ago with the systematic disenfranchisement of more than 1 million voters. It continued with the underfunding and disinvestment in polling places, in training, and in the management of the county delivery of services. And I think it had its pinnacle in this race.
Not gracious. Not.
I just, the whole electoral disenfranchisement, I mean, it still sort of baffles me in the era of early voting starting. I mean, does it ever end? I don't know when it starts and ends. It's so long in most states.
Are you early voting now for 2020?
You could, it seems, combined with things like same-day voter registration in places like Illinois. I mean, it is so easy to register to vote. It is so easy to vote. And the left continues with this fact-free argument about disenfranchisement. It's just so tiresome. Meanwhile, ignoring a fact-laden argument about election fraud. In places like, I don't know, Broward County, I don't know, Cook County.
And the news this morning is that Brenda Snipes has resigned.
She go.
As the election commissioner because they lost 2,000 ballots, but they're in the building somewhere, Dan, somewhere.
The ballots are in this building. There would be nowhere else for them to be, but they are misfiled in this building.
Yeah, they were pointing fingers at a former employee.
Brenda Snipes likely to come to Chicago to be the superintendent of the Chicago public school system, where she can explain how books and computers and money is missing all the time. For more on the Acosta topic in particular, and also the conference of the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously to Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, since we're talking to a professor at George Mason University's Scalia School of Law, we're pleased to be joined by F.H. Buckley. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, Professor.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I mean, just because Mrs. Scalia was there to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom in her late husband's honor, and the connection to George Mason University School of Law, wanted to get your remarks on Justice Scalia and not just the award that he received posthumously, but what he will mean for jurisprudence going forward into, what are soon to be or sure to be forthcoming Supreme Court nominee fights.
Well, I think he was confirmed something like 99 zip. That was back in the day when this thing wasn't completely political. So he slipped in and was sort of remarked for smoking a pipe during his confirmation hearings. I mean, talk about being, the total professor.
It was a simpler, better time.
Of integrity that was kind of missing in a slightly slipshod court, and really an intelligence and a good humor. I mean, it says a lot to the guy that he became good friends with the liberals on the court, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They admired his intelligence and his wit, and the fact that he just stood for principles.
And they shared an interest. Well, he and Ruth Bader Ginsburg shared an interest in the opera too, if I recall.
Yeah. So he was. He's the namesake of our law school now, Scalia School of Law, as of a couple of years back. And we're proud of the association.
Did you ever have a chance to meet the man?
Yeah, I did. And, I just love the guy because I could bum cigarettes from him.
And potentially a pipe.
Yeah.
All right, so to more salient topics of the day, the temporary restraining order reinstating Jim Acosta's press pass to the White House press corps. This to listen to the D.C. press corps cover it, we've got a constitutional crisis on our hands. What's your take?
Oh, I mean, talk about ridiculous. I mean, the standard of the court was, wait, Acosta was banned for what? Right? Meanwhile, like every American who had seen the TV clip knew he was banned because he was a complete jerk and he brushed aside the hand of a lady. I mean, he was not a gentleman, to put it mildly. But, in terms of the expansive view of the court's jurisdiction, right, it's not enough that this is, that the sun rose this morning, but, we have to have some clear standards about this kind of thing. So fine, they'll have clear standards, and on any definition of clear standards, the guy should have been booted.
Really? Well, also there's a word this morning that the White House is going to revoke this temporary restraining order, take his press pass back at the end of the month. Do you think it's good for President Trump to keep this cat and mouse game going on with Jim Acosta and CNN?
Yeah, something, press conferences are the press conferences of the president. They're not the press conference of Jim Acosta. I mean,
don't tell him that.
I guess he seems to think that he's entitled to dominate what's going on, and of course he's not. He's a reporter. He's not the star of the show. Of course, reporters many times kind of tend to forget that. But, the idea is we can ask questions. The president can ask questions of whomever he wants, and when it's over, it's over. And when he wants to move on, he moves on. So, that's the way it's basically always been. I mean, I recall, by the way, when Obama got very hissy about a conservative who wanted to ask him a question, right? And of course, at that point, all of the left-wing press just dumped on this reporter from, some basically right-wing blog or whatever. So, we moved on from a stage where any kind of a question, probing question thrown at, good King Obama is presumptively tyranny, at least, to a case where, all the right lies with the press and it's fair game if you go after Trump. So that's just silly. I mean, we need some regular order for these kinds of things. So, I think the proper thing is, sure, if Acosta comes back, fine. Just don't call on him. Call on somebody else from CNN.
Wanted to get your take on Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. The president gave him a vote of confidence in an interview with Chris Wallace yesterday, saying that he's not going to interfere in Whitaker's oversight of the Mueller investigation. in addition, that he's turned in is going to turn in this week his homework from Mueller, written answers to the questions that he posed. But is there any problem with Whitaker in the acting AG spot, sans Senate confirmation, and overseeing the Mueller investigation, even though he's made pronouncements previous to his appointment that were skeptical of the substance of the investigation?
Yeah, you know something, a whole bunch of people are skeptical of that investigation, and we would like to see Mueller get on with it. I'm kind of the odd guy out here because I'm about the only person I know who doesn't see bad faith in anyone. And, I think Mueller is basically doing what lawyers do, which is, go really, really slow and examine what's under every kind of pet rock out there. And, and a lot of people have basically tried to send him the message, for God's sakes, get on with it, right? So I don't think there's anything to be done in the sense that Mueller's preparing his report right now. There'll be questions, answers from the president, and, I would expect now to see the whole thing wrapped up before Christmas, and that there'll be nothing there.
And if you were advising the president and Mueller wanted to press on getting a sit-down with the president, would you advise the president to reject that overture or fight a subpoena?
In terms of sitting down with Mueller, no, I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think that's the direction in which things are heading. I mean, if Mueller has submitted questions and Trump is answering the questions in a written form, that seems to be acknowledgement on both sides that that's basically appropriate, and that's all that's going to happen. And Trump himself has said, I have no plans to fire Mueller. But you don't talk. You ask yourself at this point, what if 3 years from now the Mueller investigation is still going on and hasn't unearthed anything? So, there is a limit at some point. So any suggestion that the president can't rein in Mueller is totally inappropriate. The crucial question is, as Trump said, he's going to do it now, and the answer is not merely is he not going to do it now, and he's told us that, but he's cooperating in the sense that he's answering questions. So, it's not only the case of no fire, there's also no smoke.
All right. He is F.H. Buckley. He is a law professor at George Mason University Scalia School of Law. Professor Buckley, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
It's never a good look, guys, when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. You may think it makes you look casual, but more than likely it just looks kind of sloppy. So Untuck It makes shirts specifically designed to be worn untucked, which is the way I love wearing shirts. This is a casual shirt that's not too long, not too short. It's perfect. The shirts are designed so well, GQ calls them perfection. Untuck It shirts. I love these shirts. Log on to untuckit.com, UNTUCKIT, Untuck It, and stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt. Use the promo code MikeG and you'll get 20% off your purchase. There's also 25 retail locations across the country for Untuck It, UNTUCKIT, untuckit.com. Check out all the new arrivals. It's a good-looking shirt. I'm wearing these every day. Untuckit.com, promo code MikeG for 20% savings. Untuckit.com, your solution to perfecting casual.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
The way you get your medicine prescriptions is now changing across America. GoGoMeds.com can deliver your medicine right to your door. Ask your doctor to send your prescription to GoGoMeds.com. Once you fill in your information, it's in the system and your prescription is delivered. It's just that easy. Go to GoGoMeds.com and use the promo code MIKE2018 and save $10 on your first prescription. That's GoGoMeds.com and the promo code MIKE2018 gets you $10 off your first prescription.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Tomorrow night. What are you fighting for?
Gotta do what my father couldn't.
The movie event, 40 years in the making. Drago's kid. It's dangerous. Arrives. You got people that need you now. Creed 2 will make the whole family stand up and cheer. Michael B. Jordan.
We gotta do this together because we're a team.
Sylvester Stallone. Now you know what you're fighting for.
What's your name?
Creed 2, rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. Tomorrow night.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It helped me with a lot. Like, my energy levels went up. I felt way better. I felt more focused, more concentrated. It made a difference as far as energy levels and brain function.
Balance of Nature, you are also very nice to deal with. Michelle, you and everybody I've spoken to, Heidi, Quo, everybody I've spoken with, the Balance of Nature is so very, very nice.
I do feel a whole lot better since I'm taking it. I don't get colds like I used to, as often, it seems. They don't last. And the wounds, are healing a lot quicker, that's for sure.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Still taking your suggested Jim Acosta book titles. Somebody texting in, looking forward to the pic of Acosta buying something using currency with his face on it. It would be great.
Oh, my God, please.
Replacing Harriet Tubman, replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. I like that idea.
Oh.
Let's see. Book, Accosted by Trump, How I Survived.
That's the best one.
Not bad.
Accosted by Trump.
Also, let's see, what was the other one I said? A Week Without a Press Pass, A Survivor Story. That's good as well. That's the only one. President Trump laying out something. Oh, by the way, it's interesting, too. You have two camps. Like, one, don't call on him. And the other people say, call only on Jim Acosta at press conferences. I'm completely in the call only on Jim Acosta. Have fun with him. Jim, are you sure you're done, Jim? Is there any other questions?
Can we get you something to drink?
If anybody has questions for me, Just send them up to Jim, handwrite them on a note, and Jim will read them to me. That's what I would do. Have absolute fun mocking Jim Acosta and all of his fellow sycophants of the left in the D.C. press corps. President Trump cracking himself up over the weekend.
Yeah.
Presidential Medal of Freedom ceremony, at which Antonin Scalia was one of the honorees, as we mentioned in our discussion with F.H. Buckley.
His wife came up and took the medal, the honor in his honor.
But the introduction of Mrs. Scalia was where Trump had his little fun.
Joining us for this ceremony is his wife, Maureen, who's become a great friend of my family, myself, and their 9 children, Anne, Jean, John, Catherine, Mary Claire, Paul, Matthew, Christopher, and Meg. You were very busy. Wow. Wow. I always knew I liked him.
Oh my God. He's a man's man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did the crowd? I mean, was it a little
I mean,
uncomfortable?
hey, there's a prolific jurist in many respects.
That's what she said.
I think I'd feel a little uncomfortable.
You done having kids? You got 2.
And it's a lot of work with 2. I cannot imagine having 9 children.
Remarkable, isn't it? You know, it's they were hardier people back in Scalia's generation.
Oh no, stop it, people. You can't do that when talking about Justice Scalia. Please.
That's never been done before. That's true. That theme music to it in Scalia discussion.
Hey,
the guy who smoked a pipe during his confirmation hearing.
He was so confident always, wasn't he? Dan, in case you need anything to do this afternoon, Blaine Blue Jays championship game, conference champs, 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th. Games begin at 4:30 and 5:30 today. Okay? Your franchise has arrived.
Godspeed, and if necessary, sweep the leg.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer extraordinaire. Quinn McCarthy.